Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode number 55 of the Couch on Ice podcast. Lots of big news to talk about this week, lots of firings, a couple of suspensions to talk about. We got some power rankings that we did, but before we get into some hockey news, let's throw it over and introduce the boys. I'll throw it over to Jordan first. How's it going this week? In nice +5 weather in Nevada, you asshole.
Yeah, it's today is a cold day.
Oh, piss off. I'll show you cold, man. Oh, it's like -30 or -20.
Although it's supposed to get pretty cold for the next couple weeks. Cold for here anyway, so I say -10.
Gotta throw on your pants again.
Real wet.
Oh, nice and rainy for you.
Yeah, I love the sound of rain, listening to it, watching a bit of puck.
Yeah, so how's Nevada treating you? Are you like pretty settled now? Is it still a little like getting used to like waking up and like, oh yeah, not in freezing ass cold Saskatchewan today?
No, it's nice. The mornings are cold as a son of a bitch, so it reminds me of home.
Well, that's good at least. Nice. Not as bad as Winnipeg though, hey.
No, that was a different breed of cold.
Oh God, I know. That's the
that
worst.
was me wearing 2 pairs of pants, 2 shirts, a sweater, and a jacket cold.
Ski pants is your regular pants.
Exactly. It was brutal in Winnipeg. I do not recommend anyone live there in the winter.
Well,
probably in general.
Oh yeah, one day I was there for work and I had to drive back that day, and I wanted to leave early to make good time and all of that because it's like an 8-hour drive or whatever, and it was the lights along the perimeter highway went out, and it was a snowstorm that night, and I couldn't see shit for like 2 hours on the road. So I was like watching the white line on the road, just making sure I stayed on the road. It was awful, and it was freezing too. So, but I'll throw it over to Chase before we get into some new hockey news. Chase, what you get up to this week?
Oh, not too much. Just chilling like a villain, Watching puck.
Watching puck. Having the time of your life, freezing our nuts off here. Sounds like fun. Cool.
Yeah, it really got cold in the last few days. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
It did. Feeling it seep through the cracks of the house.
Yeah, I mean, I love the cold, so I can't really say too much. At least my house to be like cooler, like temperature is probably always under 70.
I grabbed my coffee mug and it's just so cold.
Yeah,
it's so cold. Like I'm going through the wall. Just I had to warm up my coffee mug before I put coffee in it. My coffee.
Yeah, no kidding. It just freezes as soon as you take it outside, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I love the cold for all the things it brings. I just don't love the cold. I just wish I could.
Yeah, bringing some puck with it too. Can't complain too much.
A normal temperature and the snow. That would be nice. If the laws of physics were slightly different.
Yeah, no kidding. Take away the winters a little bit more, at least the cold. But
hey Jordan, do you have like a corner store? Like, what's your corner store there? Like, I got like a gas plus or something.
It's pretty decent. There is a 7-Eleven that is like a block or 2 away.
Just got a set.
And then there's a nice grocery store that's like 3 or 4 blocks.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent, right? Like, we're in a residential area, but we're right on the edge of the main road.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
that's a classic Saskatchewan right there. Having a Sev close, like
yeah. No kidding. I got like nothing close to our house that I can really walk to. There's like a gas station like 8 blocks away. That's the closest, or a Subway or something like that. I think that's it. So I gotta like drive everywhere in Martinsville, but I won't complain. At least our roads are good in this city and not in the
and you're
big
not
city.
An arm and a leg.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, well, the houses here are pretty expensive, so
in comparison,
eventually, yeah, that's true. But should we get in some puck, boys?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk about some games. I'm gonna start it off today with last night's game, and I'll probably end off with the Vancouver game because that kind of leads into some news. But yeah, last night, Pittsburgh versus Seattle, and oh boy, Seattle. 6-1 Pittsburgh. bit of a shit kicking, if I do say so. We scored 3 goals in the first 5 minutes. Groob was just nothing last night. And know what the funniest part is? We had Casey DeSmith in net, who's just a plug, so we still whooped them. Jake Gensel's like one of the best players in the NHL today at the minute.
How quick was Grubauer pulled?
5 minutes.
Yeah,
after the third goal.
He was bad.
I actually have the exact stat. 5 minutes and 6 seconds is when he got pulled. So yeah, it was rough. It was rough, man.
So bad.
It was funny
too. Like just
missed
them.
Yeah. Well, the one was they were all deflected a little bit, but the first one that went in where he put his stick out to block the passing lane and went off his stick and in the net. Like it just wasn't his. After you saw that, you knew it wasn't his night, and you're like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, those are the ones that just demoralize you. Too.
And their defense was really good at intercepting pucks, but then they would just leave it in the high slot for us and be like, "Oh, we should probably grab that," and then it's too late, and we have a scoring chance. Like the Seattle team, it was
sloppy. That's what
very sloppy. For. They have. I'll say one good thing. They had one line last night where I was very impressed with. And it was, funny enough, 2 of the 3 guys played for Pittsburgh last year. Brandon Tanev, Jared McCann, and Morgan Geekie. That line was pretty good last night. It created a fair bit considering what Seattle brought last night. I mean, Brandon Tanev's their best player. Without
he
question.
looked good in those training jerseys, the like indigenous theme.
Those things. Yeah,
I really liked that. I thought that was really cool looking.
Yeah, those were sweet, and he's by far their like best player. It's embarrassing that he's like, and I don't get me wrong, I love Turbo. I think Brandon Tanev is fantastic. Great depth.
He's a wicked locker room guy.
Right? Wicked locker room guy. Wicked on the penalty kill. Great bottom 6. He should not be your best player.
No.
Like, this team has a lot of issues. What I was saying to Chase right before the podcast is their forward defense and goaltending all play different from each other. Like, they all play a different type of system that would be successful for them. Their offense is very much just likes to hold the puck. That's it, pretty much. Just hold the puck. And their defense loves to throw hits, and their goaltending likes to stop play a lot.
Yeah,
none of that works.
I'm really starting to realize, like, this defense, or sorry, I don't know, maybe it is. The defense doesn't trust the goaltending at all. Like, maybe the team doesn't.
I think it's vice versa. I think they don't trust each other.
In reality,
I don't think the goaltending trusts their defense to stop chances, and I don't think their defense trusts the goaltending to make a save right now. Like, nobody trusts nobody right now. There's a couple guys, like I watched Jordan Eberle, and he had a good game last night, all considering. But, like...
Well, he's been good this season.
He's been good this season, and I love Jordan Eberle. He's a second-line 20-goal scorer. He's not your first-line go-to. He's not a Pacioretty, even. And, like, that's, like, the low-end, top-line guys I can think of right away as Pacioretty. He's nowhere near as good as Pacioretty.
Yeah, he can definitely be on the first line, but you need
2 other guys that are better and have to be on your first and second line. You need someone to drive a line, and the guys that drive the line seem to be Tanev and McCann, if at all. But I don't know. I got nothing really great to say about this team. So if you guys, I'm gonna jump into Pittsburgh after. So if you guys want to give your Seattle stuff quick.
Yeah, like I just almost given up on this team. Basically, like I'll be getting into my power rankings and stuff like that, or predictions. Like I just don't understand. I've said it before. This has just confused me. This team, how they play, how just not worried they seem to be about turnovers, and
they don't try.
Like their goaltending has not been good enough the whole time. Like they said with Fleury and stuff like that. Like that was super huge having somebody come in and actually be able to be a goalie, because like that's like one of the hardest things for really teams to get Like once you don't have a goalie, like look what Calgary did. They just asked around for like
10
I don't
years.
know how many how many years was that they asked around until
I will
they just
check
paid
when
for a marksman,
when Kiprusoff retired.
Because it was exactly that whole period. Like it was just assing around. Like it's super hard to be a goalie in this league, and I can't imagine being a goalie for a new franchise. So maybe that's their demise right now. Is that simply it's just super duper hard to actually hit the ground running in that position.
And I feel like you do have to credit the Flames with that, is that they definitely knew what they wanted in terms of their goaltending talent, and they didn't make any big goaltending deals that would have hindered that, right? Like I can think of some of the Calgary goaltenders over the past little while. They had
Mike Smith.
Yeah, they had Mike Smith for a while. They had Dave Riddick for a while.
Riddick. Yeah, like they really used like random guys.
Hey, remember like Romo, guys out of the weeds, Tari Romo or whatever his name is? He was starting goalie like a season. Yeah. Kiprusoff retired in 2013, so but like he was probably well past it around like 2011. 2011. They haven't had like a starting goalie, so 10 years pretty well. So
no, he left early. That guy, he's just I'm good. I'm done.
Can't remember when. Well, it just says 2013. It doesn't say when he left Calgary here, but no, it was. Yeah, it was. They definitely need a goalie.
Yeah, it's so disappointing because they score a lot. Like they score a lot. I thought they were going to be so much tighter defensively, and like there was a stat I saw the other day. They're second in like forward production or something like that. Like.
Nice.
Like they're getting goals, they're getting points. Like some of the best in the league, but they're not doing anything else. Like it's
pretty bad.
Yeah, like I was looking at these last few games really closely, and the next few games real closely to really get my full complete thought on how this team's gonna finish off. And I really needed them to show up to this game. Like I knew that this was going to be a hard game. I know Pittsburgh's playing super good and whatever. Hey, but like this
was a game that you could have
for me because like I've seen this happen too many times this year. That's the problem. Is that this is probably like the third or fourth time you played against a hot team and you weren't there. You didn't even act like you could win the game, or I don't know. Like there's no. Yeah. So that's what I got to say about Seattle. It's very frustrating. I definitely do not have them in the playoffs anymore after this. No, I'm sorry. You guys can't face adversity. Like you can't. You get throw some fire at you and you burn.
Yep.
And run around. Like so.
I got one good thing to say about Seattle too, though. Good on their fans because it was 6-1 pretty. It wasn't like early in the third, sorry, but they stayed the entire game knowing their team got shelled. So hats off to the fans for just sticking in.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Thing I will credit is Seattle has never had in any, I guess, except the Seahawks, obviously. But in terms of like hockey and basketball and I guess suppose soccer, they haven't had like a major team ever. Right. So, but they've always rode hard for their teams. Like I can think when the Sonics were in the
NBA, the Supersonic,
huge fan base.
Yeah, those guys were cool. That was a sick name.
Yeah, I guess because if you're thinking of the Rockets, like they were probably good. Like the best team they probably ever had was like 4 years ago, whatever it was when it was hard. And
exactly, but their fans have always rode hard for them. So I absolutely agree. Seattle fans are awesome.
Yeah,
and like they've had that. Well, they've been part of the WHL basically, so they've always had that States division. So they're really big there with the Spoken Chiefs and stuff like that. So, yeah, the Seattle Thunderbirds. Yeah, that's the team. Yeah, exactly. So they've kind of had that going. So they've obviously had a huge hockey fan base. Like having a team, like I said it even before they got a team. Like this is why there's no question it's going to Seattle. This is the most obvious place on earth to put this team. Like they already have like
just like the next one's Houston,
and it's basically in Canada.
Yep. And it gives Vancouver excuse to have a rival. So even though they're not competitive.
Other than the Flames.
Well, hey, know what?
They can rival for the bottom now.
Maybe they can be. Yeah, maybe they'll be rivals in 5 years when they're actually somewhat competitive. So maybe the timeline fits good.
Rivaling for the.
That's why they picked their team. Yeah, that's why they picked their team so shitty, because they wanted to be fair to Vancouver.
Oh, that's one thing. There's nothing but going up for these guys.
Well,
that's for sure.
I don't know. They're not in the basement quite yet. If Vancouver starts winning and Seattle doesn't keep, they're definitely going down. So. Well,
obviously, no. Like they're not making the playoffs. Like, that's usually the goal. Like that's usually the goal. So when you don't make the playoffs, it's kind of like
for sure.
Who cares really where you end up? Yeah, you'd rather end up last, so then you get a good pick, but.
For sure.
Yeah. It's at least going to get better after this because you have your super good cap and nobody's going to cost so much. And you won't be able to keep guys and you'll be able to make a move. I don't know what the hell.
Whatever.
Maybe old Maddie will come in next year or something.
That'd be sweet.
Blow you away.
Maybe they'll win the first overall pick this year. You never know. But yeah, pretty much throwaway season now for Seattle. Well, pretty well given up on them. But I'm going to jump back to Pittsburgh for a second. And I need to talk about Jake Guentzel. I know I kind of mentioned him there, saying he's one of the best hockey players in the world right now, because he probably is. He's scoring at will. Did you see his second goal that he scored, guys? It was fucking amazing. Rodriguez gave like a backhand sauce to him, and Guentzel was on the right side of the net, and with his left skate, the outside of his left skate, kicked it out. And he's left-handed and one-timed it pretty much. Instantly, top corner. It was sweet. If you go take a look on like Twitter, just type Guentzel goal or something. It's so nice. It was awesome. He has been outstanding. He's probably been the best Penguin of the season, arguably. Maybe behind Jari. Jari's been the best Penguin, I should say. But he's definitely probably been 2 or 3 behind. Only other one I can think of is like maybe a Teddy Bluger. But no, like he's been outstanding. Rodriguez is gelling on that line. This team is so good, and we still have 2 or 3 top 6 guys out.
I was kind of laughing at myself because like I wanted Guentzel to look or just pop out a little bit more while the big guys were gone, and he got his points, and
he was doing all right. He was
great
fine.
And all, but like
pretty average.
He definitely looks and plays a lot better with the old Sydney.
But Crosby. No, what's crazy about it though is it's not like an effect of Sidney Crosby's getting him all these chances. Like he's getting them himself. It's
like he just plays better. Like he pops way more. Like
it's just a mentality thing. Like I think that's what it is. And I mean, last year though, when Crosby was out and stuff, and he was playing by himself, Guentzel was legit. He's an extremely good player. No. I got really nothing but good things to say about Guentzel.
I think he's got it. I think he's in. Like
he's on that American team
we've
now.
Been working on the Olympics, and I've had him in the whole time from the start, and the last little bit of us like, can you really like? There's a lot of guys like this American team has like there's like a pool of 10 people that like literally you could probably take any of these 10 people, and half of those guys won't be actually on the team.
If I'm being honest, I take Guentzel over Pacioretty.
Like I don't exactly like he's when he was be able to get a point per game without any of the other big guys with Crosby or Malkin, that's very impressive.
Yeah, he can drive a line and he creates out of the corners very well.
I guess you guys had Carter at least. That's
Carter's
very key.
Very key.
If
Carter
wasn't there, cool.
Casually, like one of the most underrated trades of last year. Like he has been major for our team success.
Elite goal scoring doesn't go away, right?
No, and that's just it. And it was never a thing with Carter where you looked at him and you're like, he's not very gifted, but he's so smart. It was never that. It was never like his body. He relies on his body, like to be good. He was always very smart. He knows where to be. He's got a great shot. He's great instinct. And he may not be able to move his legs like he used to, but I don't know what it is. He just looks so big and strong out there that he's not going to lose the puck at all. So,
well, when you set him in the right spot and you give him the right shot,
yeah.
He's 90% shot, it's going in.
Yeah, it's been the perfect situation for everyone involved. He gets to play limited top 6 minutes for when Malkin's out, and then he's going to slide to the third line. Like,
yeah, man. Like, it's why you pay for 3 centermen. It's why the Islanders pay for 3 centers. It's like why everybody would pay for 3 centermen. Because, like, if anything goes wrong, you have another, like, basically a guy that can actually fill first line wise. You know?
I agree in paying your third line center, but the Islanders were a pretty bad example when how we talked about JG Peugeot the other day, yesterday.
Yeah, he's a little overpaid, but you still need to.
It's okay to overpay a couple players, but in the Islanders' sense,
he's a perfect fit for the role that I'm talking about. Whether his contract's good or not.
He's definitely a good fit for that role, but no, for sure. I just wanted to touch on those. Do you guys have any games you guys want to bring up quick?
Yeah, no.
All right, Jordan.
The Flames versus the Ducks.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah, this was a wicked game. This was a great goaltending game, as you'd expect from both these teams. Leonard went on a wicked performance, as did Gibson, as he always seems to.
Yeah,
but what really shone to me was the game went to a shootout, and the third and the fourth, or the third and the overtime, were all in the Ducks. It was all their momentum.
Oh, really?
But when the shootout came, Calgary looked hot, and Kachuk scored a wicked fucking goal.
Did he? Not surprised.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it shootout goal, but it was fucking sexy.
I did not see it, unfortunately. And one thing I'll say though about the Ducks is like how well, I know we've touched on it many times, they're so good this year. Everything's kind of fallen in the right spot. Their young guys are stepping up where they need to be. Their veteran guys are being what they need to be helping. It's just kind of all going for them right now, Anaheim. There's really no holes. And that's what this season... It's funny because I remember us talking about them and we're like, the worst thing that could happen this season is they have too good of a season. And they're kind of having it now. But
great.
It's different in this case, I find, because I don't see many holes in this Anaheim team at the minute. Now, that is very subject to change, as in just how they're playing, how these young guys are filling in at the moment. They're doing more than what you expect based on what this Anaheim team should be.
This is a team that is consistently taking teams to overtime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They can score with the best of them. They got one of the best goalies in the NHL. Like, their defense definitely isn't... It's very experienced, that's for sure. Like this.
Oh yeah, right. Kachuk made that Forsberg move.
One-hander. Love that.
Yeah, no, this Anaheim team's awesome. Sonny Milano is just best buds with Zegras. Just got himself in the top 6 for the rest of his life.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, he seems kind of like a lost cause after the past season or two. Like, Sonny Milano probably not been here.
Yeah, I do think this will slow down at some point. Like, I do like the balance of this team. Like I've said, this league's way better because like Anaheim and these guys didn't give up any of these players.
Yeah,
like Henrique and these good complement players.
Raquel,
exactly.
Even though I'm hearing he's still probably
Fowler, Kirk, like they still have all those team veterans.
Their selections with their drafts have been perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, Zegras, for example, 7 assists in the last 3 games.
Zegras is a special.
He's really, he's really starting to heat up here.
And know what? I remember his draft when he was drafted, and I saw how far he dropped. I'm like, I don't know. I think he could have went higher than that. Like, I didn't think I'd be this good by any means. I'd be lying if I said I'd think he'd be this good, but I knew he was a good player. But
right after he got drafted, it was just like, oh my god, this guy's way better.
Well, it was before too. Nobody seems to remember, but in the World Juniors, right before his draft, he led the I don't know if it was I think he led the tournament in assists. He didn't have a goal, but he had like 5 assists, and he was an underager or something like that. Like he was 17.
Yeah, just after the draft.
No, he blew up.
International stuff that he did after that. He was like just the Superman. It was pretty cool. But
the next World Juniors.
Like, super unbelievable drafting.
Couple duds here and there, like Sam Steele, but.
Yeah, but is it a dud? The guy's like 23, man, like 22 or something. Like these guys aren't old yet, so like,
I'm not saying like dud as in like
themselves.
I said like, dud because I didn't want to say bust because he's definitely not a bust, but he's definitely not what we all expected. I expected Sam Steele to be a second line center. Based on how he played in the dub, like I watched him play a fair bit of games in the dub, and.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential.
There's a lot of potential there, and I don't think he's gonna be a top 6 guy. Yeah. Maybe a third liner, like that'd be cool, but I don't.
Yeah, no. Guy like Isaac Lundstrom is real key for this team. Like
Troy Terry still.
He has been very key. Just a random young centerman. Like that can't ask much more out of.
Yeah, Lundstrom. He's looking good right now.
Well, and that's been the theme for this team is that their young guys have been playing great, and honestly, some of their older guys have not been. An example, Kevin Shattenkirk has been shit this season.
Yeah, he's been pretty rough. Yeah.
He'll score a goal for you every now and then. He looks good offensively every now and then.
Scores a lot. He is 16 points, though. Like, that's...
Yeah.
He's quarterback in a power play with Jamie Drysdale's up getting some power play time too.
His shootout attempt against the Caps was real fucking poor. And for some reason,
how was it last night?
At the third shot.
Yeah, well, his second shot yesterday against Calgary I just saw. So how was that shot?
Right.
Or the other day or whatever.
It wasn't great.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand that when you have like a Troy Terry, Zegras, like I mean, Raquel can definitely go and do some magic. I bet Sam Steele is good enough with the puck to be good in the shootout.
Well, hey, I just checked the lines here. They got Sam Steele up. They got him on the second line because with Troy Terry and Vinny Lettieri.
Is he playing?
He's center.
Oh, is he centering?
Centering Terry and
that hasn't been happening for very long because what's
his name is. Well, yeah, because Getzlaff isn't in.
Yeah, Getzlaff.
Oh, and even Henrique's day-to-day now.
So that's exactly why he's up in there. Getzlaff's not in. But...
Oh, yeah, for sure. But it's kind of cool that he actually...
No, definitely. I like him getting minutes, but I pointed him out specifically because name a prospect of theirs where you're like, I wish could have became more. I bet Sam Steele's the first name you list in Anaheim right now, right? And who's there? You can't like say like you didn't want way more for Ryan Kessler, man, still getting paid almost $7 million this year. But no, I just wanted to point him out. Great team, both the teams. Calgary too. I've not said anything bad about Calgary this year. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. If Gaudreau can keep playing offense like this playoff wise and like just creating, he doesn't need to necessarily score at the pace. He just needs to create the chances. This team is going to be very hard to knock out. That's the only thing holding me back on their playoff aspirations. Chase, did you have any other games you wanted to talk about?
No, not really.
Okay, then I'm just going to quickly like go over one game because it's relevant to what we're going to lead into. And it was Pittsburgh versus Vancouver. And I'm not going to really talk too much about the game other than Pittsburgh scored 2 goals on a 5-on-3. Bad 5-on-3 penalty given away. One was pop over the glass, one was tripping, and it was just very lazy penalties. And the reason the game is so significant is because at the end of the game, Vancouver Canucks fan throws a jersey on the ice, which I don't love watching.
No, I really hate seeing that.
I don't like throwing jerseys on the ice or burning them. And everyone who's like, oh, it's the fans' choice. Like, sure, you can do whatever you want, but why are you basically lighting $200 on fire or on the ice? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
When you call yourself a fan of a team, that means you got to be a fan through thick and thin, right?
Yeah, I think there's some exceptions in extreme cases. Like, if Chicago Blackhawk fans are like, I'm done with this team after this year, I do not blame you. by any
Yeah,
means.
100%.
Same with Habs, maybe a little bit, because I did hear about one fan, the one who threw his Habs jersey on the ice actually this year. He went on a radio show in Quebec, and French-speaking radio show, and talked about it. And he basically laid it down, saying, they're like, well, why'd you throw your jersey on the ice? He's like, this team is bullshit. It's constructed terribly. The management, they don't like. He just
some random guy,
some random Habs fan just going off, and he hates everything about this team. He's like, they're built bad. They play bad hockey. Their front office is idiots. They draft a guy who's like clearly an ass, like all this stuff, and just keeps going, like all this stuff. So I get it, but I dislike it very much. But in this case, I think this Vancouver fan should win an award because he's the reason Jim Benning got fired. So let's talk about the fact that Vancouver has no one behind the bench and in the office anymore, it seems like. They fired GM Jim Benning, assistant general manager John Wiesbrod. I butchered that name, but that's okay. The interim management will operate collaborative with Chris Gear, Ryan Johansson, Henrik Sedin, Daniel Sedin, Dan Schmiel, and Dan Schmiel. So that's their front office group at the minute. I'm biggest names you could probably hear in there is Henrik and Daniel Sedin. So they're probably going to take over in the next couple of years. Yeah, they're going to take over this team probably in a couple of years, like as GMs and president or whatever.
And why wouldn't they, right? A, they've been doing good at their job, and B, everybody in that organization absolutely loves them.
Exactly. So, and they're learning the ropes, so hopefully they can actually learn it properly.
Yeah, as long as they continue to do well, then I don't see why they shouldn't.
Yep, and that wasn't the only firing. And Travis Green also was fired. This one probably hurt the Aquilinis the most because they just signed him to an extension, and they end up hiring Bruce Boudreau on an interim basis. But it is a 2-year interim head coaching job, so they're giving him a good run of things. So, who wants to start off with this? With Vancouver firing everyone, do you want to kick her off, Chase?
Oh, yeah, sure. No, it's definitely due time. I don't know what's been taking so long with the whole GM thing. Like,
yep.
He clearly had to start trading 4 players to make his team better. That was probably a pretty good indication. The rebuild for the last 6 years before that wasn't going very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say past that, other than I want to bring up what I said even a couple episodes ago is when we were talking about this is simply you have to do something. Like you can't just this is going completely terribly. You have to fire your coach. You have to do the obvious stupid things that nobody wants to do. And yeah, I love that Boudreau's the guy. He's a guy I've always had faith in. I've always loved his the way he's coached and stuff and the teams he's been coaching.
I'll tell you one issue I have with Boudreau quickly. Sorry, and it's not even with Boudreau. It's Vancouver fans. And I mean this with the most sincerity in my heart. You guys are idiots, half of you, because all I saw on Twitter when he was hired was, "Oh, how do they think they're gonna win the playoffs with a guy who's never won a Game 7? They're not even gonna make the playoffs this year. What are you talking about?" Like. I just had to bring that up because I saw that all over Twitter after Boudreau was hired, and you guys are just so brain dead sometimes. I just can't believe it. But Jordan, you can continue.
No, I was just going to say, as somebody who's obviously well acquainted with him, he coached our team and for a while.
Brought out some of the best years of Ovi and Backstrom.
Right, exactly.
Well,
I remember a specific point. It was 2010, and we were fucking sucking a bag of dicks. And I don't remember the exact
Green
game.
scored like 30.
Probably.
Can't remember when he scored 30, but
I can't remember the exact game. I think it might have been against Pittsburgh, but he took the guys into the locker room. And he gave this awesome fucking speech where he just laid it all out for them, and he shoot the shit with them, right?
Yeah.
He was like, "All right, we got to stop being so fucking lazy, get our fucking heads out of our ass, and go play some goddamn hockey." and it was good. It worked.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no, he definitely gets his best out of his big players. So I'm
and I
super
can
excited
appreciate
about
that.
that.
Somebody who lays it on the line and takes it very seriously.
Yep,
Like
absolutely.
if his guys are playing like shit, says, you know what, guys, you're playing like lazy fucks.
No, I love that. I think he's gonna bring out hopefully the best of Patterson and Besser. I mean, last night definitely was a step in the right direction, winning against LA. I think they finished 3-0.
Players
4.
Clearly
4-0. Okay.
Yeah. Clearly the players wanted change and like things needed to change. Like I guess the Kings have not been anything in the last few weeks.
Lately.
They really have been nothing, which sucks. It sucks that it is what it is. You start sucking at points and times in the season, but yeah, an easy team to beat, but you put the stamp down and got 4-0 on them. So I like that start, but I didn't do my predictions have anything to do with what the change is going on here, because how do you gotta watch this out for a little bit, because like we're saying, like Boudreaux can really bring this.
You can be confident in a team, maybe, but it's definitely wait and see.
Well, and you know what? After last night's game against LA, I can definitely understand having high spirits. The team looked way happier. They put a lot more energy out there. The fans are obviously going to be more happy. I imagine the coaching staff is probably a bit more happy now that they don't have as much pressure on them. Like, I think this was the right decision, and it puts them in a good position for things to only get better, because how could they get worse?
Yeah, this could definitely wean out a lot of players on this team is what I think might happen. It's on them now. Yeah, like there's no one else to blame but the players after this.
Yeah.
If they can't get it done, it's all on the players' fault. Like I shouldn't say all on the players.
For this season and
for the rest of the season, it's up to them what they want to be. Do they want to be a real hockey team and play in the NHL? Or do they want to pretend to be an NHL team?
Just so missing the playoffs is kind of not a big deal to this team, or it shouldn't have been too big of a deal going into this year, just with all the turnover and stuff like that's been going on the last few years.
If I'm being honest with this team, I just want to see meaningful games where they're trying. I don't care. They could lose every single game, but if they're giving it their all for 60 minutes every night, I don't think you can be upset with this Vancouver team.
Well, and you know what? Somebody who gave it their all last night was JT Miller.
Yeah,
and he's obviously a big voice in that locker room, if not.
Yeah, it's that's one thing that's a little bit worrying me, is the whole JT Miller and Bo Horvat stuff. They clearly don't get along. At least not in the capacity of what you'd hope being a Vancouver fan, especially two of the biggest voices. He didn't like Green, it seemed like. JT Miller I'm talking about. Like, he undermined him at practice multiple times this year, saying that this drill doesn't make any sense and all this such. Like,
yeah, or just saying like none of them understood what was going on.
Yeah,
definitely throwing them under the bus.
It's not. Yeah, and whether that's true or not, I mean, it very well. I didn't actually watch the whole practice. But,
yeah, exactly. It very well could be, but only the players.
It's just like I don't. Yeah, it's just. It's been sour. It's so sour right now there for all the players. None of the players are happy, and Miller is. Yeah, even him. Like, how do you think? I think he would be the most upset. I would be sitting there like, I'm the best I've ever been in my career, and my team can't even show up enough to help me. They has to make 8 to 10 fantastic saves a game, yet I still have to let in 4 because my defense has Tyler Myers on it. Like, it's
pretty crazy that this, this doesn't happen very often when it comes down to actually changing the future and the now. You know, like, you got rid of your GM and you're trying to fix what's going on the ice right now. Like, so what goes on and what's going to happen in the future and suggestions for that, I could not even start to tell you what to do.
That's the issue. There's no direction.
Too long. Like I said, there's several years. You should have noticed once you started trading or needing to trade for JT Miller and Tyler Toffoli to make your team an actual team to push them over the edge. Like, that's, or just to get into the playoffs.
Just to get into playoffs. Like, they weren't, they the year they actually like, I'm putting quotations, went on a run by means of going to the second round there. They barely made playoffs. Like, they really shouldn't have been in the hunt anyways.
Yeah.
And without the Toffoli trade, and then they lose them because they ran out of time. Yeah, right. You ran out of money because you don't know how to manage money, Benny. Like, it's so many
just continually trading for people like Connor, Garland, Dickinson, like just you name it, just keep giving up for players in your top 6 or
and
wherever,
don't get me wrong, all these players who traded for, I love. Yeah, all these players except for Pearson. I'm still like scratching my head. I'm more scratching my head on the contract rather than the player, but to each their own. Like most of these players he's traded for, they've been successful in Vancouver. But the core that was there before them getting there wasn't ever good enough.
Yeah, he never grew like the whole 8 years. Tell me who, like, they drafted most of these guys actually, which is pretty funny. But like, where's your defense? That's the one thing that blows me away. Where did your defense go?
They drafted one defenseman. Like, Quinn Hughes is the only one they drafted.
Is the only thing that's been one that I never understood for so long. And you let go of the one guy, Chris Tanev, that was a homegrown guy that you pulled out of the weeds. And you're just like, Levy.
Yeah, you had
waited on that. Like, this guy just didn't maximize a thing. Like, everybody that would play good on this team, he would let them play good and then let them walk away. And that was just basically it. And he just never got anything out of it.
No, it's just
keep
rough.
Trading for fucking guys every year if you want. You can keep doing that.
The worst part is like, I'm looking at this team's roster and I'm like, they're a good team on paper.
Yeah.
They are a good team individually. Like, why isn't this working? Like, I'm looking at players like Tyler Mott is a genuinely good depth player. Like, it's not like he's like, oh, like, because they got a Tyler Mott on the fourth line, they're not doing anything. It's like, that's definitely not what's going on. Like, it's just, I don't know. Pettersson needs to start scoring. We've been beating that.
I don't like the dynamic of the defense and how it kind of shakes down. I just feel like you guys a little bit too.
They have two defense
guys. Your top guys and your Hughes, Myers, and OEL. They're all a little bit more offensive than stable defensively. And that's just the only issue I have. I feel like that's what's kind of kicking you in the junk.
Yeah,
and obviously, like I said, this is a lot of just Benning doing, adding extra guys and keep adding guys.
To a bad core.
Never using their people that they have picked or drafted, or keeping those guys around to even be able to pull them up and possibly have them as a 6-7 D man or a bottom guy. They do it for a few guys that they really like Mate and Gaudette and McEwen, and 2 of those guys aren't on the team anymore because they just walked away. Like, or you just traded them for someone
for nothing.
Who's probably going to turn out worse, because if you look at a lot of his trades, that is what happened. He did a lot of swaps, and the guy he let go did better than the guy that he got. It's
absolutely
unbelievable. Yeah, no, I do like this team. I really think things will turn around. I really do, because I think Boudreau will get this going. How do you get to the playoffs after a start like that?
I don't think you do. I think you just give up on that. You can't have that aspirations now and be upset if you don't make it based on your start of your season. You shot yourself in the foot.
You got a lot of time yet, man.
You got a lot of time.
Quite a bit of time. We're only like 25 games in here. Like, there's still, like, you got to really completely.
They're also in last. They're also in last in their division, and that's the only way they're making playoffs, by the way, is through their own division. And because the Central's too good. Central's way too good. Just, like, the fact that Nashville is where they are right now and they're not going to make playoffs, and they're a pretty, like, okay team, I guess. Like, they're playing a lot better this year than I thought they would, that's for sure. But, like, so you're saying that they can outtake Edmonton, Calgary, or Vegas is with the aspirations? No, it's not happening. Exactly. And Anaheim. Frankly, I don't think they'll even catch Anaheim. Like, I wonder that. I wonder they won't even catch Anaheim. Not that they're not going to be better, but I think you just got to kind of Give up on the
It's
season.
a long ladder to climb.
Yeah. Oh, it's very long. And you guys start thinking about what the future plan is now. Do
you have any thoughts
Taylor
on like
make this team to go on a run for the future?
Yeah. Looking at this team.
Like I said, like what do you actually do with this? Like what do you actually do?
You start by getting rid of one of those defensemen in OEL or Myers, Hamonic even. Like, if those three, you got to get rid of one.
You have to start trading guys that are not going to sign with you next year or UFAs. You have to start doing that. Do that every year until life is done.
You trade for cap space is what you do.
Never done. It's what's killed you this whole time is you're not trading somebody at the deadline and getting anything back. Yeah. It's killed you this whole time. It's why you probably suck right now.
I agree. They should definitely be trading someone at the deadline, try and get something. There's a couple players that I look at them like I don't love them. It's the contracts, honestly. Like they're too long is the issue. Some of these contracts are just way too long. Like Tanner Pearson is a $3.2 million contract for 3 more years. And a no move clause. A no trade clause. Like a 7-team. Like it's what you do. The best advice I could give if I was a GM and tried to do something is you trade Tyler Myers. Once that contract's out, you have a little bit of flexibility and you can look at what you're going. Because I don't think this team gets any worse. I think Cal Burrows is just as good as Tyler Myers. Or maybe not quite just as good.
Bite on that contract. Other than
any team. Then you call Arizona. And you say, Arizona, I will give you a pick for him. But like, just take him. You, please. Like, yeah, like if you have to give up a little bit to get rid of one of those big contracts, I'm not saying you gotta like trade Oliver Ekman-Larsson, give a first up with Oliver Ekman-Larsson to get rid of it, and Tyler Myers. Prospect, right? If you can get rid of Myers and a second, let's say, for nothing. I know it sucks, and I don't like trading draft picks either like that, especially for stuff that isn't your fault, because there's Jim Benning written all over it, obviously. You got to do what's best for a team. You got to get as much flexibility as you can in the cap and start making deals like that. Try and steal in players like a Max Domi here and there. Like, taking chances on guys. It's like, oh, we want this guy gone. Okay, he's a decent hockey player. He just doesn't fit your team. He's making a lot of money. 50% retain it. We'll take Domi at $2.5 million for a season and see how it goes. And we'll give up a roster player maybe or whatever the case is. Like, you take maybe chances on those for the next couple of years. Try and draft well. But I don't know. This team's got too many good pieces to go into a full rebuild.
Yeah, exactly.
So you just got to retool with what you can do, and like I keep bringing up, Tyler Myers is the first name I look at getting off the team. First name.
Yeah,
you do what you can.
Would not worry about shedding a soul, honestly. Like,
I would. Not now. I'm not saying right now. Maybe off season. Like
Hamonic, like that.
That one
was way. That could probably go. Like just another couple guys that like you're 6 D-men in your system that you could plug into these spots instead of
giving up that extra I feel like there's.
I think you gotta just deal with what's going on. Like I don't know what else. You don't want to pay up to get rid of stuff.
No, but if it's for one
at least
contract,
Bozer's an RFA.
Then,
you can at least get assets back if things go wrong there. Like
I don't know.
Like I said, this has been pushed into a spot. You're gonna have to wait it out, I think, and kind of slowly make those trades that you're talking about when they're actually valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, you
can't lose more. You can't just pay to get rid of stuff now because
I feel like
just kill you more, won't it?
If you do it too much, yes. But I feel like as long as you're not giving up a first round pick for Tyler Myers to get rid of, I don't see too. Obviously, it sucks, but that's 3 years, $6 million per that you can use in whatever way you want. Like whether that's doing what Arizona did, taking bad contracts again, like whether it's for a year, take a bad contract for a year and get a pick out of it. Like, you can get that pick back, is what I'm saying with Myers. If you free up that cap space and then call up any team who needs it, whoever is, I can't think of a team off the top of my head. I was gonna say Lucic, but he's playing good. So,
yeah, exactly.
Like calling up the Leafs. Why don't you call up the Leafs and be like, hey, we gave up Myers in a second, let's say, to Arizona for nothing. And you call up the Leafs and be like, hey, how bad do you want Nick Ritchie gone? Give us a 3rd round pick and Nick Ritchie, and we'll take him. Or a 4th round pick and Nick Ritchie. Like, just $2 million, whatever. Like, whatever. You're probably not going to be good. There's a 4th round pick back. Then you do it again and again and again. Like, you got to weaponize your cap space. And people don't do it enough.
Well, and that's, something that you can credit this Arizona rebuild with, is that they're using all of the assets available to them.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're weaponizing what they have, and they're always going to have cap space because they have an internal cap. So, like, I don't know. There's no really great direction for this team is the issue. No matter what decision you make, you're like, you don't love it. But it has to be made. You need to somehow get rid of something or something's got to give. So you wait, see what happens in the regular season, and then off season, try and get some cap space. Is what I do personally. But no, do you guys have anything else to add to the Vancouver news at all?
Just basically looking forward to see if this team is a different team with Boudreaux. Or not, like,
and I want to give Travis Green
back into it.
Yeah, I want to give Travis Green a little bit of credit. I think he was a very good coach for this team that was constructed fairly poorly. I think he's going to coach again very soon in the NHL. Like, I wouldn't be surprised by next year if he's coaching a team, if I'm being honest. But in 2 years, he should be coaching another franchise very soon. But let's move over to the Philadelphia Flyers and talk about their coaching change. So the Flyers fire head coach Alain Vigneault and assistant coach Michel Therrien after an 8-game losing streak. Mike Yeo comes in as the interim head coach, and it's looking like he's just going to be there for the rest of the season. Then they'll go from there.
Figure it out.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on Alain Vigneault and Therrien being fired?
Something had to move.
I think this is the right decision.
Yeah, I never liked either of those coaches that much.
Neither have I.
For regular season, like if I need a team to just like pick like a New Jersey or something like that, like
make the playoffs,
trying to have a good regular season sort of thing, and
start
getting to the playoffs and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Hey, great coach for that, but past that, man, no.
Yeah, I like.
And almost
I agree.
The same with Tyrion, from what I remember. Honestly, from what I remember, he didn't push.
I don't think he was ever.
Those are good Montreal teams, from what I remember.
Yeah, he's not good in Pittsburgh, so he was there early Crosby era, so he wasn't great.
I didn't mind Tyrion, I guess, as much as I kind of started to not like Vigneault a lot more as time went on.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Vigneault as much. Like, he's had a great coaching career, and hats off, but I probably wouldn't hire him if I'm another... Well, he's made money. He's made good money, and he's had very successful in the regular season, so a lot more than most head coaches can say, I guess. I don't know.
Mishandling. Like, there was a way to do this. This team could have been the number one team in the Metro. They really could have, because... If there is a way you could have got all these guys going, like if these guys are playing at their best, this team's so good. I think.
This team has a lot of skill and a lot of great players on it. I don't know this. What are you guys thinking of the change, like with Mike Yeo though? Like, is
he's the perfect guy to go down with the ship?
Yeah. I will say he is a bit more defensive-minded, Mike Yeo, so that helps because the Flyers are very bad defensively. Need that type of... Now, I don't think it's going to work out with Yeo because he didn't even get, like, St. Louis. Like, St. Louis was good. They changed the coach and they won, right? That's what my issue is with Yeo, and he was the head coach right before Berube. So
I can agree with that because
like
when he went to St. Louis, I had some pretty high hopes for him,
and they were a good
he
team.
disappointed the heck out of me.
They're a great team that disappointed the playoffs second round twice in a row. And I'm pretty sure one of those years it was lost to like Minnesota or something in the first round, like who was barely making playoffs. It just, I don't know. I'm definitely willing to give him a chance, like they are. I think he can be better than Vino, that's for sure. But I just don't think he's the right choice. As weird as it sounds, if they are serious about wanting to be a good team and like going all in on this team that it is, I would give Torts a chance. Maybe I would think about that. I would interview him, talk about it, just to kind of maybe he'll make them play defense. He will make them play defense. That's for damn sure. The offense will come with that team if they just focus on defense, I think. And that's not the greatest move to make. Don't like look at me like, oh, Torts.
Like I'm assuming that Torts only wants a head coach job.
Yeah, that's exactly why I say with Philly, because they will probably have a position available after this year. But one thing I'll say about Mike Yeo too is he's like best friends with Chuck Fletcher, or like they've worked together a lot. Like I'm pretty sure for like 6 years in total together.
Oh, yeah.
So they're tied to the hip pretty tight. So I think he's gonna get a very fair shake at Philly.
It's interesting.
And they're not gonna fire their GM, that's for sure, because he just got there not long ago, like 2 seasons ago. And
yeah, because they think that what's his name, Ron Hextall wasn't doing a good job, so
and
they have to stay on this guy
all their
for
young players there.
3 years.
All their young players that are successful right now, he drafted.
Like I said, he was being super patient with his defense. That is what he was doing. He was waiting for like a Seth Jones move and stuff like that. That is exactly what he was waiting for.
And then, you know what though? I will defend Chuck Fletcher on the Ryan Ellis move, because I think Ryan Ellis is absolutely brilliant. It's a shame he's been injured. Now the Ristolainen move, that one I don't love.
Dude, I just want to know what it would have been like if Hexy stayed.
Yeah.
I just want to know what he would have done.
I'm kind of glad he didn't.
I wish, I bet you are.
I wanted a coach who can draft well for years. Years now, since we've had Rutherford.
You guys need draft picks to draft well.
Definitely. That's hence not having Rutherford there is a very good thing. Hextall doesn't like to trade away picks. Does not like to at all, which
it's super dumb.
I'm okay with it actually.
It's right super now. Dumb most of the time.
it can be, but sometimes you just gotta look and be like, maybe we just gotta keep our first this year, and like,
you do
agree with that.
Like you gotta know when your team is competitive one year and one year not. Like I know a lot of people gave shit to Holland last year about not picking up at the deadline. I think that was the right move, looking at how they're doing now, looking at some of their off-season choices, even though, again, probably not agree with all of them. Like, he made the right call because he knew that team wasn't going to win. So,
it's not
why
even
pay...
that. It's just like, you got to let the team actually prove something to you. Too. Like, stop giving them a bunch of crap for no reason, like Toronto for like 3 or 4 years in a row when they've shown absolutely nothing in the playoffs. Like, like I bet he's so mad about obviously the pandemic I think hit as well, but that Mike Green stuff and Thuy, like getting those guys, that probably just killed him, because I said I'm still unsure who pushed the envelope on that, if it was Kenny or if it was the actual Oilers management, because they were, well, we have McDavid, you can't waste, or the fans, the pressure from the fans. We have to win.
But like, you also gotta look when you have. It's really hard as a fan base when you watch Crosby be successful early in his career as this generational hockey player when he came in, and then McDavid not even make playoffs for how many years. Like, that's really hard to swallow. Like, I'm looking back at it. We're gonna look back at this Oilers team and look at McDavid's stats and go,
but that trade didn't help them.
No. And I'm not defending that trade. I'm defending Oilers fans for saying, "What the fuck? Why aren't we in the playoffs?" Because when you have two of the best players, I don't think that's fair to say like good for them. How would you feel if you guys if the Detroit drafted McDavid and Draisaitl and was nothing for 5 years with them? You would be fucking fuming too. I would be.
I wouldn't be so happy, but like I wouldn't be crying because like I'm assuming we'd be building around these guys, and if it's taking a little bit longer than we thought, then like whatever. Like I don't know, we still have like the greatest players. You can like it's not over. Like clearly patience can work here. Like sometimes you gotta just find the right guys and get things to click.
Patience like, patience is key, but a 5 years 5 years they weren't good. That's bad. Yeah, like, that's really bad to have two of the best players in the NHL. Like
talk to Buffalo.
Buffalo had Eichel and no one. Like Buffalo too. Like, and I feel even worse for their fans. But I get it. I sympathized with Oilers fans early on because they've endured a lot of bullshit.
Oh yeah,
for a lot of bad hires, a lot of bad GMs, and it set them back.
Picks out the window.
Yep, for sure. Not defending the trade, just defending Oilers fans. That's all I wanted to say. Do you guys have anything else on the Flyers? And this?
Nope.
No,
man.
All right, let's jump into our power rankings then. And how are we gonna do it? Do we want to go from bottom going up, and we'll each just go one by one, kind of giving our piece on the team quickly, and go from there? Just why we put them where they are and stuff like that, because it's gonna take a while to get through every team.
Let's start with like we'll just start with like each division.
Do you want, I don't have it set by every division. I have it. Yeah, okay, well, I have it 1 to 32.
We'll just go 5 teams at a time or something like that.
Okay.
Top 5.
Okay, let's start at the bottom though. Let's start at the bottom and go up. So, okay. Chase, you can start her off, and then I'll throw it to Jordan, and then I'll go. So go. What is your bottom 5 teams?
Well, the old bottom 5 teams. Oh yeah, check out Twitter. I'm gonna be posting all this stuff, or my predictions and stuff. So basically, this is like my
Couch on Ice on Twitter. Go follow us and check out the posts.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm doing here is it's kind of like power rankings / more predictions to how she'll end out at the end of the year here. So I have Arizona dropping 1 spot to last place. And then I got San Jose being the second last team at 31. I got Buffalo getting at 30. 29 is Ottawa. 28 is somebody, if I can find the old 28. Might not have a 28 here, boys. Might be missing a team. Who knows? Montreal, I believe, would be the 5th. Yeah, Montreal, I think it's.
There you go. Do you want to give a quick overview on why you got them all in the basement?
Why I have them in the basement? Well, basically, Arizona clearly not going to get it done. I don't have Buffalo. I had Buffalo second in the bottom 2. I thought they were for sure bottom 2, but they look a lot better, and I think second half will be a lot better with Tuck and a few other guys around. Maybe their goaltending will figure out a little bit better, and defense may play better. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I got San Jose, though, at second last. I'm assuming things are going to kind of going with a guess here that they're going to trade guys away.
Yeah.
Kind of move on. So they dropped a couple spots in my rankings. Other than that, Ottawa is just not having a good year, so I'd only drop them 1 spot from my last ranking. Not much to say there. It's kind of obvious. Montreal dropped quite a few spots for me, 7 spots, I believe. Just not a good year.
No,
not a good year at all. It's just definitely that's not how she goes.
For sure. Awesome. I'll throw it over to Jordan then, and you can do your bottom 5.
My bottom 5, so it's a bit similar. I've got
right.
Arizona at the bottom end. I think that's gonna be.
I think that's unanimous. Or is unanimous.
Buffalo right ahead of them, which I think is also probably pretty unanimous.
No, well, Chase had San Jose at second last, so
Yeah, fair enough, or at least very similar.
And I
So I
for
go
sure.
Arizona, then Buffalo, and then I go Montreal, and then San Jose.
And then who's your 28th team?
Sorry, and then the Islanders following.
Ooh, interesting. Do you want to get a quick overview of just why on each team?
These are teams that just I don't see an upside, and they're already starting negatively. I mean,
Okay.
especially like the Islanders. For
Yeah,
example.
that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah, unanimously, like we said, Arizona's at the basement for me. I put little comments on beside all of them just to and I put where they're supposed to be. So that explains them enough. Second last, I got Ottawa. I think they're too young and their defense isn't good enough to. And it's just a year, not a good year for them. I think they can just throw it away. Third last and 30th is Buffalo. It can't be worse than last year, so I put a third last. 29th, I got San Jose. It's positive for once, but they don't have a direction. And like Chase said, I think they're going to trade away a lot of pieces as well. And then in my fifth last spot in 28th, Montreal, because Bergevin fucked them in the offseason. So that's my reasonings why I'm at 5. Chase, do you want to give your why don't you go 27 to 20? And then we'll go by 5s after this.
27 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give your 7 teams there who are not quite in the basement, but missing playoffs by quite a bit. Or maybe not.
Okay, so I have LA at 27.
Nice.
Because they're a little bit worse than I thought.
Yeah.
No, I think there's just teams that are, I don't know. They dropped 3 spots to me, but not a big deal, whatever. They're never going to get anywhere out of this sort of area to me.
Yeah.
26, I have a big surprise. My most surprising, disappointing team, is Philadelphia at 26, dropping 12 full spots down.
Yeah, that's rough.
So, yeah, real rough. I don't know if I think it's just going to go terribly wrong. That's just kind of my sort of guess for how this season's going to go.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll trade Giroux and trade Risto and really do a fire sale.
Wouldn't be bad
if they can't get her going. Because if they're not getting close to the playoffs, or if they're not for surely completely a different team, they have to do something like this, or else there's no moving on. You don't want to just keep doing what you've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years, right?
Yep, absolutely.
We'll just make the off-season move to win, right? That just hasn't worked. So 25, I've got Vancouver, my next surprise disappointing team, dropping just so many spots. They're down at 25, dropping 10 spots for me. Yeah. This is not really thinking about the whole Boudreaux hiring yet. See how I feel about how they play in the next couple weeks, but other than that, I don't know. I'll keep them down here for now. Just, geez, what a tough start.
Yep.
24, I got Jersey right where I had them at the start of the year, so I haven't moved those guys. They're still 7th in the old Metro. And what do we got here? 23, I got Columbus. I actually have them moving up 3 spots overall.
Oh yeah, I gotta love that.
They're looking pretty good. I don't see why not. They can just keep getting better as the year goes on, unless things fall apart for some unknown reason. 22. 22. One of my more surprising teams on the good side is Anaheim, popping up 5 spots.
Hell yeah.
From my early season predictions. They're 5th in the Pacific, so not giving you a playoff spot, that's for sure. 21, I have as Seattle. Ooh. And we'll see what they do in the next couple of weeks to give me any sort of anything. But no, I liked how they played against Edmonton. There is promise and stuff like that.
Say Pittsburgh.
They're not. Exactly. I was really looking for a lot more in that game, and now I'm guaranteeing they're not making the playoffs, which I know it's a little late for that, but I don't know. I still think they have a lot in them, and they can have a better second half and at least get close to it. I only have them dropping 3 from where I had them originally. But yeah, if they keep pulling games off like that against Pittsburgh, they're probably going to end up a lot further down.
Yep.
And the last team is at 20. That is, where are you? Chicago, I believe.
Chicago.
Oh, sorry, Detroit. My bad.
Oh,
my bad.
Okay.
Yep. Detroit at 20, and they're one of my surprise teams, going up 10 spots in the rankings. So
sweet.
Real stoked that my Wings. Well, I don't know, not really. I wish we could be
even better,
shitty again this year. That would be nice. Get one last pick before we start doing this, but I'm good on the boys.
I'm curious
nice
how they're gonna do when Verana comes back. So
no doubt, man.
That'll be intriguing.
No doubt.
But Jordan, what do you got for your 27 to 20?
This was the tough spot.
Yes, yes, it was.
Yeah, I felt like there was.
They're all decent. They're either all decent or they're like, I need to put them even lower.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, there's a bunch of teams here where I'm like, okay, they could go either above or like the next week.
Yeah, a lot of teams are just like in there that you wouldn't have thought they would be there.
But at 27, I've got Ottawa.
Okay. Which you have them having a lot better season than we do.
Yeah. Following Ottawa at 26 is Chicago.
Yep.
And then afterwards them, it's Seattle.
Yeah.
And then Vancouver.
Yeah.
Columbus would be 23, I believe.
Yep.
And then 22 is Philly.
Ooh.
21 is Boston.
Oh.
And 20 is Jersey.
Okay, first we need to talk about that Boston one for a second. You need to explain why you have them so low. Why you don't believe in the team.
I do not believe in this Boston team. No, not one bit.
What is it? What is the reasoning that you?
For me, the big reasoning is the center depth.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was actually asking Chase this when we were working on stuff a little bit yesterday too. I was like, am I being overly critical of Boston this year? Like, am I worried? Am I too worried? And he said yes. So I thought about it, but I understand your skepticism for sure. But I was definitely not expecting them at what? Did you have 21? You have them at?
Yeah, 21.
Holy shit! And sorry, 20 was New Jersey. You said?
Yes, the Devils.
Okay. You know what? You're pretty well not far off my list for the most part. I got 27. I got the Blackhawks. I just got bad vibes. I just don't like the team. How it's just
right now. Everybody has a sour
taste. It's still very sour. Jonathan Toews does not look good at all. Like, not even like a top 6 player lately. So I don't love that. I think Kane and DeBrincat's dope, but whatever. 26 got the Islanders. I think it's a throwaway season, and they play such a strict system that it's hard for them to just say, oh, we're going to win 20 over next 25 and make playoffs. I don't see that happening with a team like that. They don't score enough for me to believe in them like that. I got 25. I got Seattle. They are just so bang average. Just so bang average half the time. They were real bad. I don't believe in this team. Philly at 24. I think they're awful defensively, but hopefully Yo can help. I don't know. Still don't believe in the team either. 23, LA. They're a fine team, but they're just not there yet. Not there yet. Give me another season or two, and then we'll talk about LA. 22, I got Vancouver. I have them having a lot better of a season pushing. Late, I think Boudreaux's going to help. I think they're going to get their heads out of their asses a little bit. Demko's been so good that I think he'll win a lot of games for him. 21, I got New Jersey. They're just taking the right steps forward. I think they're exactly where they should be and where I predict them to roughly be. And 20, I got Anaheim. And I'm already looking at it and don't agree. So I'm going to change it on the spot, and I'm going to put Columbus at 20 instead. Because I think I love Anaheim. I love Columbus too. But their goaltending's been so good. They are working real hard. All their guys they also kind of had no expectations, which helped them. Columbus. So I got Columbus at 20. So let's go on to our next 5 then. Chase, you want to go up to 15?
Sounds good. Sounds good. So at 19, I have exactly where I had at 19 last time. Chicago Blackhawks. Still got faith
Interesting.
in the second half. I've been saying it for
Fair
the
enough.
whole year, so I'm gonna stick with it. I still think they can have a good second half. Like, look, it's just look on paper, sure.
Yeah,
You guys can do it, sort of thing.
that's fair.
Just want to hope for the resurgence, and also just the Central is so good, so I'm just going to pretend like everybody's so good other than Arizona at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Drops from Chicago's ending up 7th in the division
Jesus,
and 19th overall, and then Arizona's 8th in the division at 32nd. So just
nice.
funny. But 18, we're sticking in the Central. Nashville right there. I got them going up 8 spots. One of my surprise teams. As in, I didn't have them this high, and they're looking real good. I think they will be right outside that bubble. As I said, the Central is pretty madness, actually, as long as... I'm sure if I do another projection, which I probably will before the end of the year, I'll be pushing Chicago down, but hopefully they can get something going. But anyways, yeah, no, Nashville is hard not to. That it's a full team. It's a full team.
Yeah,
as long as they
have
kind
the
of keep
best,
going, you know.
one of the best goalies. They got the best defenseman in the NHL. Like,
yeah, you got a couple bests, and that's what you need.
Yeah, a couple guys who are just like absolutely top tier. So can't be upset about that.
18, so 17, I have the resurging New York Islanders at 17. Now,
Nice.
it's another team where I think they only have like 6 home games or something like that. So I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I have them 5th in the Metro here. They're dropping 4 spots in the overall standings for me. I think they'll be right in that bubble.
About the Islanders, they have not won a game since November 6th.
Ouch.
Yeah, hey.
Ouch.
It's so crazy.
That's
just an actual month.
An actual full month. They haven't won a game. That's insane.
Yeah. They've been just terrible. But I think coaching the Islanders being resilient and stuff like that, I think they'll find a way to get back on track and at least get close to making the playoffs here. But no, I don't think they can get out of the hole truly. It sounds a little like a tall task.
Where you have them is pretty insane. If they can do that, I would be extremely impressed. I'd be so impressed with how the Islanders play if they can somehow get to that.
Bold prediction for sure. I think on that is that they can come back and actually be in that bubble. So 16, we're going right back to the Central. Dallas making the playoffs in the 5th spot in the Central at 16th overall. I actually have them one of my biggest drops, one of my biggest disappointing teams, dropping 11 spots in the overall rankings simply because at the start of the year I had them.
Yeah, you were high on Dallas.
5. Yeah, man. And like if you've been watching them the last couple weeks, man, you're gonna know why I'm so high on Dallas. Because I thought they would be playing like that a lot more, more consistently.
If they did, they're a good team.
Oh, buddy, they would be 5th overall in the league if they played like that all year. I'm telling you, this team's starting to heat up, and I don't see them missing the playoffs. I think they'll find their way in. I think they're real mad that they let Nashville squeeze in. So I think they're gonna what is it? Slay the beast.
Yeah,
you want to call it. 15, I guess, is where I'm at. Hey.
Yep. Last
where I have it in like different settings, so I can't. Oh yeah, 15. I got going to the Metro. So the New York Rangers get that last wild card spot. Get that. They're actually only up 1 spot in the overall rankings to me.
Crazy.
15th overall. I had them missing the playoffs in 16th. I was really high on the Metro.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's Rangers squeezing in the last wild card spot. I think they'll hit some brick walls here and face some adversity and maybe lose a little more games than we might expect, just because, well, we expect what they're doing now. They're going to be almost one of the better teams in the league. So I think they'll just slow down a wee bit. But
for sure,
yeah, that's
nice. All right, well, let's throw it over to Jordan. What do you got from 19 to 15?
19 to 15. All right, so 19, I've got LA.
Interesting. You're pretty high on that team then.
Yeah, not too high, but like I like this team. I like the direction. I don't think they're quite there, but I think you know what, like you can see it.
Fair enough. Yep.
Which is what I like in this team, and with Drew Doughty and how he's played this season, I really like that.
Just got
so
back.
As long as
too,
Drew Doughty
so...
stays healthy, then I'm pretty.
Could be.
Yeah, they struggled with him out. Eh?
Yeah, real bad.
Could be a second half team.
Yeah, that, definitely could be.
I'm missing because like they're not a team I've been saying about a second half, but like kind of as in like they'll grow and slightly and get better as the year goes on.
There's a couple of their guys who are just having second half. Yeah, there's a couple guys I really like how they're playing right now on that team. Like Adrian Kempe is really good right now. He's been awesome all season. So they got a lot of good two-way guys.
Something to consider. Quentin Byfield has not touched the NHL yet.
Yep, that's true.
Imagine
he's coming back. He should be back in a month.
He's playing AHL minutes now to get his condition back.
Well, yeah, the bigger question, while we're on that topic, because the big question is he going to play in the World Juniors? Because he's still eligible. Whether he's going to be healthy enough is the question.
Yeah, I think it certainly depends on his little stint in the A. And then
it's very tight. Yeah, they say the timeline's very tight for him to make the team, but it's possible. So I guess we'll see with that. But no, high on LA. What do you got next?
At 18, I've got Detroit.
Yeah.
At 17, I have Nashville.
Yeah.
At 16, I have Dallas.
Okay.
And then at 15, this one I'm not so sure about. I have St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I feel like it's a bit low, but I'm
man, like you're pretty much just reading half my lists half the time. Like, but 19, I got Anaheim. I'm even looking at it and might put them at 18, but I'm just gonna leave it for now. I got them 19. Love their young team. We just talked about them. 18, I got Detroit. I think they're finally competitive. These rookies are just like so good on this team. They make your team so much better.
Especially Sider and Raymond.
Yeah, precisely those guys.
They've clicked.
Yeah, love them. 17, I got Nashville because UC Saros and Roman Josi are on that team, so they're going to be tight in the playoff race. 16, I got Boston. They got a really tough schedule, but they just know how to get it done when people say they won't. So that's the reason I put them in. They squeeze in like the last playoff spot. So barely make it. And then at 15, I got Pittsburgh. And honestly, I look at this and I wonder if I could have put them higher. But I'm going to put them at 15 because we don't have a backup goalie. And that's going to hurt us in a lot of games unless we can fix that. And we just haven't been like super stellar. So I don't know. Just a playoff team fits for me. So, but that's up to 15 for me. Chase, what do you got for 14 to 10? No, you're not. Got nothing at 14 to 10, Chase?
I don't think he knows how to count.
He's muted.
Hello. Hi. How's it going? Yeah, so 14 to 10, getting into these DSAS playoff teams. Already talked about Dallas. The Rangers at 14, I got Boston squeezing in there. Fourth in the Atlantic, getting that first wild card spot. They're actually one of my more disappointing teams this year. I had them fairly high. I thought their bottom lines would do a heck of a lot better and bring that extra little punch with guys like Foligno, Holland, and those guys. But a lot of guys have been missing games.
Yeah.
Studnicka really hasn't stepped up too much.
It's been okay.
They haven't really found their lines, honestly. They really haven't found their lines. So
yeah, they have one line. Good. They have one line. That's the issue.
Yeah. So yeah, they dropped like 8 spots. They're sitting 14th overall in the first wild card spot. Now at 13, got my boys from the Blues, St. Louis, 4th in the Central. They're actually up 4 spots from my last projection, so they've They've looked very good this year, and honestly,
Yeah.
it could even be higher if like, let's say Minnesota falls apart and they end up being amazing. Like, I don't know. Anyways, 12 Calgary. How do you not?
Interesting.
Them and Vancouver pretty much swap spots in a sense for me, except I put Calgary a little bit higher than I put Vancouver at the start of the year.
Yep.
They're up 10 spots. One of my surprising teams sitting at 12th overall. 11, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins. Haven't really moved too much on these guys. Third in the Metro, dropped one spot in my overall ranking, so just squeezing outside the top 10 now.
Yeah, they'll be in that 10 to 16 range probably.
And the Canadian teams, they're in there. I squeezed them up. Edmonton, second in the Pacific, 10th overall.
Nice.
In the league. So we got our happiness of saying our Canadian teams are actually top 10 teams, 10. Which was the goal.
Yeah.
From what I remember people saying at the start of the year was at least, or McDavid himself, I think, said, we need to be at least a top 10 team at the end of the year to really start being in this conversation if we want to be serious. So yeah, Edmonton
for sure,
squeezing that top 10.
Love it. Jordan, what do you got there at that 14 to 10?
All right, 14 to 10. This is where it gets interesting.
Definitely.
At 14, I've got Anaheim.
Wow. Really high. Yeah. You got playoff Anaheim. Crazy.
Playoff Anaheim. Yeah.
That's insane.
I definitely think it's going to be a big battle between them and St. Louis for a good
last spot. All right. Yeah. All right. There you go.
13, I have Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
At 12, I have Vegas.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think it's a bit low, but
they've had a lot of injuries, and they'll be up. Yeah.
After that, at what was that?
11
13 was Vegas.
13 was Vegas.
12 would be Winnipeg.
Yeah.
11 is the Rangers. And 10 is Edmonton.
Fucking read my list, why don't you? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, I'll quickly go through mine because Jordan just kind of like ruined the last three. So I got Dallas 14. I think when their top line produces, that being Pavelski, Rupe, and Robertson, they're a very good team. When it doesn't, they're a very bad team. St. Louis, they're just bigger and stronger than everyone. So I got them at 13. Could be a good playoff team. Winnipeg, I got a 12, like Jordan said. When they try, they're good. 11, Rangers, like Jordan said. Shesterkin covers their defensive holes. That's why I put him so high. And then at 10, Jordan said it, and Chase, Edmonton. They make the top 10, and literally just because McDavid and Draisaitl are on that team.
Take them out, and they'd be a bad
Yeah, maybe not like, bad team. Their defense definitely could use some help. That's for one, sure. But
yeah, they got through that Nurse injury, not too terribly.
I'm just saying, playoff wise, if they want success playoffs, they need to pick up an RD man who's like good and knows what to do. A real D man, a real defense who can actually defend.
A Mirko Mueller.
Yeah, Mirko Mueller. Oh, the Swiss legend that is Mirko.
Oh, he's playing pretty good this year.
Yeah, man.
I remember looking.
No. Anyways, Chase, do you want to give your 9 to 5 and then your dolly?
I will hit the 9-5. Let's get grinding. Let's go to the Atlantic third spot, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Ooh.
Our two big Canadian teams in the top 10 at 9 and 10. Not giving them much more than that. Sorry, boys. Just so getting there. They're up 2 spots from my last prediction at the start of the year. Washington, let's go there. Metro, second overall. In the old Metro, sorry, not overall. Overall is 8th. 8th overall. They're up 1 spot from last. Nothing but doing exactly what I thought they would. Maybe a little bit more.
For sure.
7th overall. Minnesota.
Nice.
3rd in the Central. They are my most surprising team. 13 spots they jumped up. Oh boy, Ryan Hartman, I'm falling in love with you. Let's stay in the Central. Hit the Jets. Let's get flying. 6th overall. They actually dropped 4 spots to me I really was hoping they were gonna have an epic season. It's not going to be epic. They still kind of the Jets we all slightly know. They like to have those 2 weeks or weeks where they just are a different team.
They don't try.
They
don't show up some nights.
Yeah, so they are not going to get first in the Central. Now I go back to the Pacific. I'm going with Vegas. Like I can't not go with Vegas. 5th overall. I love this team. They've been playing they're like Colorado in a sense. They've been playing really good through a lot of injuries and stuff like that. So when you do that, to me, you shoot up everywhere because once you get full health and things start clicking, you're just gonna win every game in a row for like 6 or 7 games. Your last 10 games will look like 8-1-1 or something like that instead of like your middling 500 like it was all season. So
for sure,
looking for that. They moved up 2 spots actually. I had them lower. I had them at 7th overall at the start of the year, but pushing them up a couple of spots. I think they'll really start tearing it up. We got a lot of time yet. Got an Olympic break, got a Christmas break. Lots of cool things to happen to just basically kind of switch a season around here. So
yeah, for sure. That's
my 5th
pick there. So Jordan, what do you got for your 9 to 5? 9 to 5. Here we go. Low on my list, in my opinion. At 9, I've got Colorado.
Maybe,
no
but
doubt.
I don't disagree completely. But why is that? Can you explain why you have them lower?
I think a lot of it just comes down to unfortunate injury timing.
Yep.
Obviously losing McKinnon is gonna be a blow, regardless.
Well, he's back.
What team he's on.
He's back now, luckily, but yeah, definitely it was a big blow.
I also feel like this is a kind of team that is comfortable saving their energy for the playoffs.
Yep.
Because they're so good that they can afford to.
No, you guys are gonna like gasp at all mine in my next picks, so I can't really say shit. But anyways.
Following them at 8, I have Minnesota.
Nice.
And then at 7, I've got Toronto.
Nice. Oh boy.
Which is the 2nd highest Canadian team. Following them is Calgary.
At 6.
At 6, yeah. And then sadly at 5th, I've got my Washington, which I say sadly, but
that's still pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I talking about? I have Winnipeg higher than those other Canadian teams. I don't even think of Winnipeg as a Canadian team. They're a real hockey team. They can actually win a Stanley Cup. Or guys get. I'm sorry, Winnipeg.
I don't like when they don't show up because you do that once in the playoffs and you're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
The way they play.
Your series,
you could be playing the worst team that makes the playoffs, and if you play that way, you're not going to make it past. Yep. Yeah, exactly. That is, literally. So, no, I'll jump into mine. I'm going to preference these before I say them because there's going to be a lot of big teams you're going to hear early. This is regular season finish. I'm not saying this is not my favorites to win the cup at all. This is just how I think they'll finish regular season. Number 9, I have Tampa. Reasoning. They don't care if they're 1st or 16th, as long as they're in the playoffs. And they're going to make noise. So it's the same as your Colorado argument, but Tampa they have their 2 best players are injured right now in Kucherov and Point. I think they're going to lose a couple games. They're not the best goalie in the world, though. They're just going to make playoffs and make sure they get in comfortably. Number 8, I got Vegas. Again, health. I think they're not going to be healthy in time to just get a little bit higher. But again, could be such a big threat in the playoffs. 7, I've got Calgary. I love this team, how it's been playing. I was not expecting it one bit, especially under a Daryl Sutter team. But they're going to be so tough to break. They're already so tough to break down and really tough to outwork. So, love that team.
Imagine once he gets them to grit themselves in the playoffs.
Oh, they're already doing it. They throw some of the most hits in the NHL. So, I love that. 6, I've got Colorado. And again, it's just the health issues. Their depth isn't the greatest either for the regular season. But they're absolutely terrifying when they have the full team. most scary team. And then in 5th, I've got Minnesota. I am all in on this team. I think this team scores with abundance. I think Kirill Kaprizov is arguably should be in talks for the MVP of the year. The way he's grinding this team, changed their team overnight, it seems like. So I would definitely give him MVP votes. And like Chase said about Ryan Hartman, like he's actually a top 6 center and he's dope. So no, love it. I know a lot of big teams there, but injuries and the other teams I have above are just better regular season teams. So Chase, do you want to get into your final 4 teams?
Yeah, the final 4. So Tampa Bay, let's go to the Atlantic. I got them right where I had them at the start of the season, not moving at 4th. Love Tampa Bay. They've been kind of a lot of situations just playing way better than you'd think they should be playing with injuries and stuff like that. So once you get healthy, it'll be hard not to do swell. And then I'll kick it to the Metro, Carolina Hurricanes, top of the Metro. I got them moving up 5 spots in the overall standings, hitting at that 3 spot. Just better than you thought. We went into the year, I thought they'd be first in the Metro, but I didn't think they could push that close to like the actual top 5 of the league. And they're going to do that, that's for sure. So I got them 3rd. We'll kick it back to the Central. And weirdly enough, I'm going with Colorado at 1st in the Central, 2nd overall in the league. I was not super high on this team in going in, as in I was kind of thinking like they were just talking how like, oh, there's injuries, all this that, and it's just not going well. Who cares how high you are, Like I feel that's how I was thinking when I came in. But they're playing way better without their team. So, like, if they ever healthy at any point throughout this year, which I'm sure they will, like I said, there's several breaks going on. They're going to figure it out. It's going to be hard not to be the best team in the league for like 2 months, and they're going to push themselves back up.
McKinnon looks driven as hell right now. Watching him against Philly yesterday, oh my God.
Yeah, and the way I see it is maybe it'll be like kind of like Pittsburgh was there, just all of a sudden the last 2 months or last month, they're just like psychotically good, and that's just what.
Well, they were that last year too. That's exactly what Colorado did last year too, though. They made
really looking like they're gonna ramp up towards getting closer to the playoffs. So I like that. Then the top team in the league didn't change for me at all. I got Florida sitting at number 1 all day. Gonna be the best team. They're gonna end up with that President's Trophy.
Yep.
100%. 4,000%.
4,000%. Well, I disagree with that, but
that's what I got. The old
Sweet.
Florida.
Florida's your best team. Interesting. Well, Jordan, what do you got for your top 4 teams?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm missing a team for whatever reason. Why am I missing a team? I've named every team.
If I'll just go through and I'll
just go through it if you figure it. I've got Florida. So this, I guess, is my top 3. I've got Florida, and then Carolina.
At 3 or 1?
At 3.
Okay. Florida at 3.
Florida at 3. Carolina at 2, and then Tampa Bay at 1.
Did you say Toronto?
I did, yes.
You did? Okay, so...
Yeah, Toronto was behind Calgary.
Toronto's behind Calgary... I have no idea what team
Did you say Washington?
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
At 5.
Yeah?
He said at 5.
Okay.
Unless you missed a team like bottom that's, like, surprising. Did you say Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't remember that.
Jets.
Rangers? I didn't hear Rangers.
I've got the right number of teams, so I must have just messed up my counting somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
So my top 4 then in that case is Washington, Florida, Carolina, and at number 1, Tampa Bay.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Decent.
Yeah, no, I got 4. I got Washington. They just dominate the regular season. They always
it's hard
seem to
put them at the top 5, isn't it?
Yeah, just for regular season. Like, don't get me wrong. When playoffs come, I'm definitely not betting money on that team. But
go first round.
I still put them at 8. So like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling them too high to give them a top 5.
Yeah, I just think they know how to play regular season so well. Number 3, I've got Toronto. I think they're just so good in the regular season. I don't think people give them credit for the regular season because of their playoff issues. And not to diminish their playoff issues, but this is regular season. They're very good at it. Jack Campbell is playing out of his skin. He can play that well until at least Mrazek's back and stays healthy, hopefully. Then this team should be a top 3. Matthews lighting it up, Marner, obviously. Number 2, I got Florida. I love this Florida team, and I was so close to putting them first. I think they're the deepest team in the NHL at every position, too. I don't think there's a single spot where you can say they're not better than other teams. I got nothing but good things to say. Aaron Ekblad's having a Norris season. Like, love it. But number 1, I got Carolina. Every team I've heard talk about who is the best team in the NHL, they've all said Carolina. Who's the toughest team they've had to play? They've all said Carolina. Who's the best coach they've played? It's Rob Brind'Amour. So it's hard not to put them first when the NHL players, teams, coaches, general managers, and analysts and such all say that Carolina is. I'm going to lean in the majority. So
I don't blame you. They're fucking good.
So good. And I thought they weren't going to be this good with losing Dougie, but oh boy, they proved me wrong. I guess Tony DeAngelo can be useful. So that's just crazy. But that's our power rankings. Do you guys have any notes you want to put with the power rankings? Like any notable teams to mention quick?
Yeah, actually, do you guys have like what would lay out as like your playoff like what your playoffs would line up then after with these standings? Because I'll hit you with my I think playoffs, because with my predictions, I'll kick it to the Pacific. In the West, Vegas would play the St. Louis Blues, which would be the first wild card team.
Yeah.
Then the Battle of Alberta would happen in the old Pacific, so that would be unreal. So pretty crazy first round with Vegas, St. Louis, Calgary, Edmonton. And then in the Central, got Colorado and Dallas, with Dallas being the wild card 2, Colorado being the number 1 team. And then Winnipeg and Minnesota would be the other matchup there.
Nice.
Which, wow, that would be quite the... Actually, all 4 of those are just insane. I love how that's how it is nowadays. That the first round is just madness.
Good.
But yeah, let's go to the East. Go to the Metro, and the Carolina Hurricanes will be playing the Boston Bruins in that. And then Ovi and Crosby matchup, which is
that would be crazy.
Classic. Those guys are sitting in 2-3 in the Metro, and then 2-3 in the Atlantic will be Toronto and Tampa. So Tampa with the crazy series too. Like that would be intense, man. For Toronto to try to win, like
that's where I would give Toronto a long time. You know what? If that happens and Toronto plays Tampa first round or Florida, frankly, more or less Tampa though, I'm willing to give them a bye if they lose again in the first round. Like I'll joke about like everyone, but
I'd put a small amount of money. Like if it was cheap, like if their team was cheap at like a draft,
at their bad odds or something. Yeah, if they've really low odds.
I'd almost take them to win the cup or go to the final or something, just because those are the types of teams you play at the start to win cups.
You play the hardest teams. Yeah, you beat them early. You got good momentum for the rest of the finals. So
you never have an easy round when it comes to the playoffs. Like what happened last year, Tampa ran into Florida the first game. Like they should have lost that round probably. You know, like that's how close that was.
That was probably the best series of the playoffs. Was that
exactly?
So
exactly.
No, absolutely.
So you need good stiff competition off the start. It really helps, I think.
Yes, it does. You got to beat the best teams eventually. You got to beat them eventually. So
yeah, and it's easier to do it off the start because then they don't seem so hard.
Yes, yeah, true. If those good teams get rolling, or Vasilevsky does, yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah. So the last matchup would be Florida and the Rangers, which would be actually probably an insane, interesting.
Florida would dismantle that team so bad. Oh my god.
They probably would, but it would be high flying.
Oh, the games would be finishing 7-5. but it would be great.
Especially if Spencer Knight's in there. It seems to be a 7-5 finish every time he plays.
No kidding.
Depends if he wins or not. I don't know, but yeah, they're always high scoring. But
nope. Yeah, those are some awesome series.
Have some crazy matchups.
I think no matter what happens, we will. I've got my playoffs actually too. To start, I'm going to start in the East. I've got Boston and Carolina as well.
Nice.
That's just first to worst, pretty much, is how it works out for me. Next, I've got Florida versus Pittsburgh. So, yikes, that would be terrifying if that happened.
Oh, yeah. So, like, your wildcard teams cross over to each other's divisions?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. My wildcards do.
Weird,
Pittsburgh and Boston do, so. And then next, I've got Washington to play the Rangers, which I think Washington would actually like work that team.
Yeah, happens. Probably.
So maybe it'd have a chance, Jordan, if you play the Rangers. And then in the other East, I also got Toronto and Tampa. Like, that series will be hell for both. Moving to the West, I've got Dallas playing.
Oh, wait. You have Toronto ahead of Tampa, so Toronto's got home ice.
Toronto would have home ice, though, yep.
Ooh. So, see, I don't have that going on.
I still have it ending the exact same way, though, I bet, with Tampa winning in 6 or 7.
Yeah, no, I ain't giving you predictions to the Stanley Cup.
No, I'm not, but
25 games.
We'll do that. Let's do that more like after the season when we know who's playing each other, because it means nothing.
Let's do that after the playoffs when we know who won.
I feel
like an idiot.
Exactly, we'll get them all right. In the West, though, I got Dallas playing Minnesota in the first round. So I got Minnesota as my best West team, which is hilarious. I've got St. Louis playing Colorado.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those are tough.
Oh, yeah. And then I got Winnipeg playing... Or sorry, no, I wouldn't have... That's a lie. I would not have St. Louis playing Colorado. I'd have them playing Calgary because Colorado and Minnesota are in the same division. Colorado would play Winnipeg, and then it would be Vegas and Edmonton.
Wow.
So
that's quite the format. Vegas and Edmonton would be pretty crazy.
It'd be pretty nuts, and it'd suck that they'd have to play McDavid just because of injuries. I'll start, but know how awesome it'd be to see Eichel versus McDavid.
Exactly what I was thinking. Like, that would be crazy.
And then if somehow like Edmonton wins and then Calgary wins and Battle of Alberta, that'd be great. I want to see like some configuration of that. That'd be amazing. Whether it's Battle of Alberta first and then it's Eichel versus McDavid, or vice versa. But nope, those are all my my formats. I got Nashville and Detroit just missing. What are some other? Minnesota is my biggest surprise, as they should be for probably everybody. Crazy good.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Islanders and the Flyers are probably my biggest downfall surprise. Or Vancouver. I had them pretty high too. So
yeah, I'll rip up my top 5 disappointed and surprises, I guess. I had Philly number 1, like dropping like 12 spots.
Yeah.
Not good. Dallas dropping a bunch. They may still be in the playoffs, but they disappointed me, as in I was hoping, really shooting for the moon, hoping they were going to have like a full season.
Yeah, Vancouver, top 5, so.
Yeah. Vancouver, obviously disappointing, dropping a whole bunch. I don't have them finishing very high. Boston, another disappointment, just because I had a lot of faith in them at the start of the year. And Montreal was the last one, dropping 6 spots, which is kind of crazy. They made that list because I already had them quite low at like 21st, so they dropped to 27th. but just enough to make the top 5. So that's not.
Yeah, nope, definitely.
But the big ones to point out of that is Philly dropping 3 spots in their division. I have them last in that division now. Just completely everything falls apart is what I'm going for. Then my surprising teams are obviously Minnesota, 13 spots up, Calgary, 10 spots up, Detroit, 10 spots up. Like, just way better than, well, I guess not way better than I really wanted us to lose for some reason at the start of the year.
Because Shane Wright wanted that Shane Wright.
Oh, it would have been nice. Then Nashville and the Ducks round out my other 2 surprising teams. I got them up 7 spots.
Yeah, and they're playing a lot better than I thought they would.
And the Ducks up 5 spots. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Just so missing the playoffs, the old Nashville Predators. Like, I wonder if they'll be able to pull this off. Like, pull it off last year, I guess. So,
for sure. Cool. Well, that's our power rankings, anyways. If you want to check them out on our Twitter. We'll probably have all of them out there. We'll send them over to Chase and he can post them all. But let's just get in some news because we're winding down on time. So we'll just close out on some news around the league and discussions. So let's start off with the Leafs versus Jets game because that's relevant in what's going on. So in that game, Blake Wheeler played his 1,000th game. So that's awesome. Hats off to Wheeler for playing so many games, even though he's probably not NHL caliber anymore. But let's get into this.
Whoa, what did you just say?
You know who did hit 1,000 and was more than NHL caliber?
Who's that?
The greatest NHL player of all time, Louis
Eriksson. Yes, I did see that.
1,000 games.
Yeah, you can say that about him. You can't say that about Wheeler, man. That's going a little far.
Okay. Out of the league, a little far. Out of the top 6? Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
No, we'll I say 100%. If you've watched him play this year, he is the most useless captain in the NHL right now. Statistically.
Yeah, he could be a lot better.
Oh, like so much better. So I'm very disappointed in his play, as you can tell. He's not scored. I think he scored once or twice this year already. That's it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to score. He definitely lost his scoring because he
lost his scoring big time.
Goals before, but
he's
just
awful 5-on-5. Yeah, he's no goals. Sorry, he has 0 goals and 12 assists. But
yeah, like last year, I don't think he's been just trouble with goals. Yeah. But
he hasn't been good 5-on-5 either. Like he struggles 5-on-5 and can't defend. So I don't know. I just don't. Past couple of years have really soured me on Blake Wheeler. But let's talk about the suspensions that game because there's one that was already given out and one that might happen. So let's talk about the ones given out. Neil Pionk is suspended 2 games for kneeing Rasmus Sandin. You guys know how I feel about kneeing. If you listen to the podcast, I think that was 2 games at least. I think that was such a dirty play. Sandin's hurt now. And it looked bad. It looked really painful. He looked like in a lot of pain.
It's not as bad as it looked.
It isn't? Okay, that's good at least.
Yeah,
it's just, I hate that so much. And I'm glad he's suspended. I like Pionk as a player, but just very bad decision there to do that. Leading into retaliation on this hit, Jason Spezza is to have an in-person hearing for his knee to Neil Pionk. It's not your standard knee, but it was over the top. I was surprised to see Spezza, of all players, go kind of like boil over and see steam out of his nose, his ears and stuff, right? Like that was the more shocking of it. When Pionk was like falling down the ground, he was skating full blast to hit him, leaned down as low as he could, and ended up kneeing him in the chest, basically,
and the head as well.
A little bit in the head. It looks,
It's important to note that Pionk is also now on concussion protocol, so he's gonna miss 3 games.
Yeah, that sucks. So, no, I didn't like either play. I understood Spezza's mentality of getting back, but I didn't like how he did it.
Yeah, you can protect your guys in a much better way.
Yeah, like if he was standing up or like slouched over looking at the puck and got absolutely lit up, I would have no issues. But he was falling down. Spezza probably had enough time to skate around him. And just not a fan of that type of stuff here and there. Like, stand up for your teammates, but there is a line. Yeah. Don't cross it.
Get in his face, talk some shit. Like, there's plenty of other things.
Yeah, hit him clean. If you want to fight him and, like, you absolutely blow him out of the water, then great. I'm fine with that. But
yeah, it's even better.
When you're taking advantage of vulnerable positions and hits and stuff, I don't like it. It makes me cringe and worry instantly. But let's get into just a couple more stuff around the league, and then we'll finish off with the injury corner. Let's talk about Montreal and some good news as they claim Cale Clegg off waivers from the LA Kings. Kind of surprising. Yeah, it blew me away a bit.
Hey, Seattle, how's it going over there? You guys having fun?
Yeah, why didn't Seattle
just not have him on your roster for some reason?
Yeah, no,
wouldn't want to suffocate him in the AHL, hey? Like,
yeah,
what a sad thing that happens to most players. Like,
yeah. No, this makes sense for Habs to claim him. Hopefully he plays well and gets some minutes. He's been such a weird player this year, being a fringe guy. Not good enough for the NHL, but not...
Well, I'm sure he'll end up on waivers and get claimed back by the Kings.
Something will happen.
After Joel Edmondson comes back or something.
Unless Cale Clegg just lights it up and they can send Romanov down. Because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't get claimed. So if he's better than Romanov, send Romanov to the NHL.
Romanov might still be under his two-way contract, is he?
I think so. Maybe. That's why you send Romanov down. Hence that. Maybe he plays well and takes a spot. Or they can trade Sherrod, right? Like, they probably will at the deadline.
Yeah, they're talking about that quite a bit. So
sounds like they want a first for him, but that's other news. Let's go over to Robin Leonard quickly. He turned down the opportunity to play in the Olympics this winter. I'm not that surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised he said no. These protocols that they're asking for this are absolutely ridiculously insane. Like,
yeah, and Leonard's already a guy who struggled.
Yeah, he already, big time with isolating. It makes the most sense, and I obviously support him with this. We all do as a hockey community. It makes sense.
I think it's a great decision. It allows him to focus on himself and his career.
Yeah, and Vegas too, because he probably wants to put most of his brain on it too, right?
He can put his brain back on the hockey. And not worry about international things.
Yeah, exactly. Worry about
he's probably looking at that more of a break than the Olympics probably right now.
Be a fan for once.
Yep, for sure. And so that's just it's a little disappointing you won't get to see him play, but at this point we don't know if any NHLers are going to be going. Like, it's a real possibility that they might pull out. I don't think so, but still a possibility.
Even politically, it's a good idea. Like, to take a stand, it's like a legit thing to take a stand and just say you're not going because
I've heard
reasons.
Yeah, the players
just
though.
Not say why.
Yeah. No, but the players have come out and said they are still all in on Olympics. They say they don't care if they're missing 3 weeks right after the Olympics. They want to go. So that's huge. A lot of teams have questions, but we'll figure out that news more.
Yeah, they have to say that they want to go because if they give any sort of incline that they won't,
they're not going. They're not going.
Then they won't go. They'll shut it down instantly because it's already pretty dangerous to do it right now,
but know what though? A couple players were asked personally by some other guys, and it was told on certain podcasts I heard it on. Elliot Friedman was talking to a couple players that might not even make the team, and they said no, we want to go. We want the chance to make the team and go. So they're all in. Slide over to Dallas and talk about this. It's kind of already common knowledge, but they've wanted to put it out there, so maybe get more offers. Anton Hudobin is on the trade block, so especially with how Holtby and Ottinger are playing, it's kind of hard to not put him on the block and get that $3 million, almost $4 million off the books. So do you guys have any teams that might look good and Hudobin might look good on? Off the top of your head? I don't mind
Edmonton all year, so no, I like Edmonton probably the most.
Yeah, definitely. If we had more cap, then I would like him as a backup.
Yeah,
but
probably.
That'd be
They'll
sweet.
just trade him for Casey DeSmith.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Well, we were talking about Chase. Like, he's like, would you rather have Dustin Tokarski on Casey DeSmith's deal or Casey DeSmith on Tokarski's deal? And I'd take Tokarski over on the 1.5 over the DeSmith on the 800K or whatever it is. So, no, I would gladly take Hudobin with Jari. I think that tandem would do so good in the playoffs. So, love that.
Yeah, other than that, just like unless teams want to pay like Buffalo or Ottawa to get a goalie, do they really feel like, I don't know, maybe they have an extra prospect or something that is keen on Dallas's eyes.
Right.
And
maybe
they'll make that sort of deal. I don't know what exactly Dallas is looking for. Like, from what I understand, they simply got all these goalies just to be able to be sure that they would have a good tandem.
Yep. Well,
and
they have
now
four.
That they know they have at least their good tandem in Ottinger and Holtby. Now they can make moves. I don't think it matters what they get back. Like, it could be a pick. It could be.
I don't think they care.
It's gotta be something they want.
As long as they don't have to retain money, I think they're happy.
Yeah.
Final point of news, and then we'll finish off with the injury corner. Arizona there was rumors going around that they were going to relocate to Houston, but they have came out and denied these rumors. Listen, for everyone thinking that they're going to be going to either Houston or Quebec, Arizona, they're not moving until there is no option left in Arizona, unless no team will own them in Arizona. That's the only way they relocate.
Enough market.
That's the only reason the Jets are a franchise right now, because Atlanta, nobody wanted to own the Thrashers in Atlanta.
Yeah, they actually gave up on them.
They actually had to give up on them. Arizona is the exact same thing. Unless there's no options and they don't get this arena figured out, and like absolute worst case, they're not going anywhere. They want Arizona to be a successful hockey market. So, just wanted to put a little pause on those rumors, at least for people, because we know Gary Bettman.
And there is a good area for hockey community there in Arizona.
Yep.
So you just got to
get closer to that area. If it's in Tempe, they need an arena in Tempe, and that's it. And then they're better, a lot better than they are. But that's all the news I got for around the league this week. So I'm going to throw it over to Jordan. We're going to close out with the injury corner here.
All right, so let's start with Chris Drieger. He has a lower body injury, but there's no timetable as of yet.
Yeah, yet again
injured. So at least a week.
Yeah, it's rough. I hate how much he gets injured.
Yeah. Brett Pesce and Tony DeAngelo are both placed on COVID protocol, so they'll be out at least until the 9th.
Sorry, you said who and Tony DeAngelo?
Brett Pesce.
That's rough. Too big. Yeah. That's their top 4 on their right-hand side.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's rough.
Pretty bad. Ryan Murray is going to be out until January with a lower body injury.
Yeah, that one kind of sucks for a depth lefty there.
Yep. Francouz, he is going to be out until mid-December with an ankle injury. So that's a big blow for the goalie.
He's got to stop getting injured, man.
Did he even come back? Like, geez,
I don't even know if he did. Okay,
that's
hot
that's
take.
Rough.
I don't know if Francouz is capable of being a Colorado's goalie.
Yeah.
It's not that he's not talented. I think he's awesome. I think he's a great backup. Yeah, he's injured far too much for that team.
Yep.
It's different if you have a reliable guy who doesn't get injured a lot as your starter. But when your goalies are him and Kemper, I don't know how you can sustain 2 injury-prone guys. You need one to always be fail-safe healthy.
Oh, man. Do they have any cap? Can they take Hudobin? Like, geez, maybe this is a team that has to bite the bullet and just pay for another goalie because
if they get rid of Eric Johnson, which they
doesn't.
I think they should.
It's hard.
He pizza 3 yesterday.
He's not bad.
He's not great.
He's
not great.
He's been playing pretty good for the team, I think, this year.
thought
So
he was pretty bad, Frank, the past couple of weeks. Honestly, he pizzaed like 3 against Philly.
yeah, he's definitely not worth $6 million.
If you can get rid of that, you do it.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Sure.
I said that a couple years ago exactly. So
but I know it's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Yeah, how do you even pay for another goaltender if you're
honestly?
Colorado?
Well,
though?
You might be able to because of like depending on when they're coming back. Like, let's say come the trade deadline, one of them's injured again and it's out for a while. They both make a decent amount of money. Like, where's their Kemper makes 3.5, Francouz makes 2. Like, you could definitely get probably someone on a deal.
Someone.
So, sorry, Jordan, you can continue.
No, it's okay. JT Compher is out till mid-December with an upper body injury.
Yeah, that sucks. He's having a good season.
Mm-hmm. Bertuzzi's on COVID protocol, so he's going to be out until mid-December.
Yeah, stupid protocol. The only unvaccinated player, though, so not surprised he's on protocol.
Yeah, exactly. Nudavara is going to be out until early April with a lower body injury.
Oh, that's rough. He's a decent depth player. Well, looks like we know Florida's going to trade for a defenseman or two at the deadline.
Yeah, because that's a long time.
Yeah, that's like most half playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh, he might barely make it back.
When did you say he's coming? I thought you said February.
You said
early April.
Oh my god.
April. Yeah, that's like second, third round. That's typically. Like, that's almost cup final, isn't it?
Early April, I think, is like just the very end of the season.
I don't know how the season goes with it being compressed and different this year. So, but anyways, that's tough. They'll probably make a move to help fix that sooner than later.
Continuing on Florida, Barkov is on IR, so he'll be out until at least the 10th of December.
That's not that bad.
No, his progress has looked very good.
That's awesome.
He got on the ice for the first time again on Monday, so I don't think it's too bad.
No, he'll be back soon enough. So,
yep. Sami Niku and Gallagher are both on COVID protocol till December 11th. They're being closely monitored by the team doctors.
Are they have COVID then? They're not just on protocol?
I'm not sure.
That? Based on
based
on them being monitored, I would assume they have it.
Yeah,
and not just
somebody who tested positive.
Well, I imagine, yeah, they could be.
Yeah, but
I don't know. This protocol stuff. I hate talking about COVID protocol roll call. It's so annoying. Yeah. That has to be a thing.
Another tough injury. Pinto is going to be out until early April as well.
Yeah,
upper body.
Yep, shoulder. I bet, isn't it?
I'm not certain.
If it's the same injury he's been... Oh, it's his shoulder.
Yeah,
oh, boy. We were talking about him yesterday, too. Fuck, that guy just... Lemon. Hope he can get healthy. I like him as a player.
Yeah, I do, too. Nate Thompson's going to be out until early January with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, it's
just a depth blow. Rust on IR with a lower body injury, so he'll be out until at least the 10th.
He'll be gone longer than that. It's Rust.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He's always out, man. One thing I will say, if Pittsburgh's not looking super strong come playoff or trade deadline, look at him being traded.
Yeah.
He's the first name on the list that'll be traded as a Penguin. So, hopefully he can come back. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Klim Kloston is out until the end of December with an upper body injury.
Oh, not Klim.
Well, yep. Man, I'm waiting for that guy to fucking make St. Louis for like 4 years.
Yeah, finally, hey, it's cool.
Finally makes it, and he's injured. Hopefully he can come back and still have a spot.
Yeah. James Neal is placed on IR, so he'll be out until at least the 19th of December.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I honestly forgot he was still in the NHL.
Oh,
I forgot he signed a 1-year deal.
The real deal, James Neal, the preseason wonder.
Wait, what team is he on? What team is he on?
I might have to knock St. Louis down a few pegs. Yeah. Might have to knock him down a few pegs.
Yeah, with all these Klim and James Neal injuries.
Yeah, those are big injuries.
Huge blows to the major core of the team.
Oh yeah.
Oh, James Neal, like coolest guy.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
Yeah, exactly. Rasmus Sandin suffers a lower body injury.
Yeah.
For being too small. For being too small.
Thankfully, the timeline is 2 to 3 weeks. It could have been a season ender. So
yeah, thank God, because that looked really bad.
Yeah,
I was
it looked
worried.
really bad.
He's had a good season too. I've been quite impressed with how he's played. He stepped up, and didn't look good.
A little bit of funny news because this is the only team that this would happen to. Mitch Marner is placed on IR
because of his own teammate.
Yeah, he collided with Jake Muzzin in practice.
No, what's even funnier? That's the second time it's happened this season. Same player too.
Fuck.
Same two players.
Yeah,
Chase, I need to give you an apology, I think, about Toronto's defense. And I said you're crazy for saying they shouldn't have traded for Jake Muzzin. And oh boy, if there's one player that you can definitely say bad things about on their defense, he is probably number 2 on that list behind Justin Hall. But I don't know what happened. Like last year's injury seems to have changed him. He does not look like the same Muzzin that's that scary, that's sound defensively, he's getting turnstile a lot more.
They made a move like a win now move.
Yes, they did.
When you just started getting good. That's what you did. You're going to bite the bullet now because this guy's going to be falling off for the rest of his career unless he can at least stay this good.
Yeah. It's not looking great. I think he's capable of turning it around. Absolutely. I know that. But as of today, that's a player I would look at and be slightly worried in the future.
Yeah.
He needs to step it up a bit more.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Sorry, Jordan, you can continue.
No,
is there any more?
Just a few more. We've got Tyler Toffoli. He's listed as week to week with an upper body injury. There wasn't much detail on it.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, the Habs are bad, so
yeah, at least the Habs aren't in a position where his goal scoring is going to bite him.
Exactly. So hopefully he's back. I love Toffoli.
One that I was happy to see that it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Shesterkin, he's going to miss at least 3 games with a lower body injury. I don't know if you saw the clip, he sprawled to make a save against San Jose, and they kind of piled on him, as it happens.
Yeah.
And afterward, he was just unable to put any weight on his right leg, and he had to come off.
It was really worrisome.
That's what he gets for playing so good. What are you doing, man?
That's what you get for carrying your whole defense.
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you just gonna do this all year? Everybody gets hurt. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I've only seen Bobrovsky do this. That's it.
Yeah,
never seen anybody else do that.
True. No,
Travis Dermott is out with a shoulder injury. However, there isn't a timeline as of yet.
Hopefully, he's back. He's having a good year. Actually, I gave him a lot of shit for when they signed the deal and everything. That was a lot of money for a guy. Well, I say a lot of money, but
the old Terminator.
Yeah, but he's turning out pretty good. I mean, I like him better than Hall and Muzzin right now. So yeah, that's for sure.
Finally, an update: Jack Eichel. He has been cleared for everything but contact.
Yes,
so he will join Vegas in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's already on the ice. He's been on the ice for a couple weeks now, and oh boy, that put a smile on my face seeing him skate and do some strides up and down the ice. Looking good, looking like he's coming back, and he looks like that surgery went very, very well. And what makes it? Yeah,
it's important to note that Tyler Johnson is
he's out for the season.
He's going through he's out for the season, and he's going through the same injury or the same surgery, sorry.
Jack Eichel he?
Underwent.
Nice.
He's now the second NHL player to have an artificial disc replacement.
It sucks that he's injured all year, but that's awesome that Jack Eichel already is influencing other players to say, let's get it. So I love that. I've not had an issue with this surgery from the day I heard the doctor explain it to me.
Isn't it weird that we just didn't hear about that? Hey, the old Tyler Johnson thing. Just all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, Tyler Johnson is also out for a little bit, getting the same surgery. Like,
didn't know Kevin Adams worked the PR department for Chicago.
When I heard that, I heard about that Tyler Johnson news the day Eichel skated, and I was like, so that's what they were waiting for. Eichel went and skated, and he was like, yeah, don't even worry about it, TJ. And TJ's like, sweet up, doing it then.
Yeah, man, love it. And it's awesome that that's becoming actual surgery, because I know that can be a big issue for a lot of people.
Well,
and it can happen.
Is rehabbing it the way Buffalo wanted instead would have taken at least a full season.
Yep.
This surgery, the recovery timeline is about 3 months. Yeah.
3 to 4, 3 to 4 months, barring like you messing it up. Yeah, setbacks in the surgery or after. It's fairly, like, it seems like it's a very normal procedure for this doctor, and he's done it a lot of times. And I love it.
So
and you know what? First thing I want to say, and I typically don't care because, like, who gives a shit what people say online, but I had a few guys on Twitter, like, when I was commenting on, like, the surgery, saying, no, the surgery is actually, like, works. It does. Fuck you to all those guys that came out and said, oh, but it hasn't been done on an NHL player. It won't ever work. Won't ever work. Yeah, that's why Eichel is a Golden Knight and not a fucking Sabre. Thank you very much. Yeah. Proving you wrong.
It is the dumbest. Yeah,
that is the dumbest argument I've ever heard in my life. Oh, hasn't been done in the NHL, can't do it. What?
There was people that were talking about the like what they were saying about the surgery and all that sort of stuff, and like they listened to the doctor. Oh yeah, I heard that episode of 32 Thoughts, like when they were talking to the doctor or whatever. Sounded like he was just in it for his own personal reasons and stuff. Like, of course he'll say this because he's a doctor. Just like, did you listen to what he said? He was like, I literally, this is like not even myself. Like, this has been done on several by other doctors.
Several other doctors, several other people. MMA, rugby, each other in the
football. 3 months later, a guy was punched in the face several times in a ring.
Yep.
With this neck.
Landing on his neck. Falling back a time, and he was fine.
Rugby? You're telling me rugby? Like, those guys don't wear protection. They literally hit each other
as hard as they can.
That is the game. Like, that is pushing against each other's spinal impact. That is the game.
Yep.
Literally the game. That's
I know.
Why they don't. That's why they retire, because their spine and their back is just ruined.
Gone.
You know, like.
So
like I just exactly I'm with you. Like, if you actually didn't think this was, if you thought this was a problem,
then you good thing you don't make the decisions if you thought this was a problem.
Like, do you not understand technology? Like, we can see if his muscles have grown back to a normal state. You can see that. You can test that. You can tell that his muscles are at normal capacity around his neck area and stuff. And that's the green light. You know?
I also have
it's gonna take a while,
another reason. So that doctor comes out and says this: why would he be willing to put his own reputation on the line if he didn't believe in the surgery and it would go poorly? Why would you put your name out there saying, I do this surgery all the time, but it's never successful? Who says that? Not one person goes out and says, I'm proud of myself that I'm terrible at my job.
Exactly.
Like, no. He backs it up because it's worked. And
this is a perfect case of what's wrong with the NHL.
Yes.
Like, this is a problem, guys. This is a problem. You guys are just not... You need to change. Like, move up, think forward or something. Like, this is just terrible that a decision like this would happen. Like...
Yep. Yeah, it's embarrassing for the league, honestly. So... But Jordan, do you have any final ones, or was that the last note?
No, that was the final one.
Final note. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, that was a good podcast talking about all that stuff. But that's gonna be it for this week's edition. Go follow us on our social medias: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at the Couch on Ice. Chase and I are starting to compile a lot more videos together. We just gotta eventually post them when the timing seems right. Do you guys have any final notes to say before I close it out?
Nah, dog, just check the old Twitter account on some
for our power rankings
that we got and our power rankings, stuff like that.
Got some awesome stuff on DT, so if you're a Sabres fan, go check it out.
There's what do we got going on? We got some Vegas Golden Knights we're going to take a look at, just basically how they got here, like what it cost them to get here with this sort of team, how they use the expansion draft to their advantage. Yeah, like you were saying, the Olympics, man, we'll be getting Group A out at least fairly soon. We've got at least most of that somewhat ready. So
get some Lou and Islanders, some Jim Benning and Vancouver talk too. So be on the lookout for some awesome videos talking about that.
We'll definitely hook you up with a Christmas present or a few here. Boys, give you something extra to hit up.
Also, if you guys are interested and want like Couch on Ice shirts or sweaters or something, DM us because we'll get something going for that. I'd be very interested in doing that.
Yeah, boy.
If you guys are interested,
there, buddy,
yeah,
hit us up. Throw us an email there, P-Man.
Yeah, man.
Throw us an email. Give us your address. We'll hook you up, man. We'll hook you up.
Hell yeah, man.
Nice little Christmas present for you.
If there's anyone else who also wants some Couch on Ice merch, let us know what we can do, and we'll get some out for some orders. So, but
yeah, some mugs and T-shirts or something.
Figure something out. But that's been this week's edition of the podcast. We'll catch you guys next one.
Peace.